And okay, code of, oh right, I was gonna show you popoys. Poipoys. I don't call them like popoys. Clipboard is empty. No, it's not. Okay, image.
Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Lihavil says. Porpoise.
Oh boy. And then I'll jump scare you. Cause they look really cute. And they're, oh, there's fucking fanfics of him. Anyway. There's a food. There's a, it's also a snack. Where is the image? It's got this movie, this manhwa. No, this newbie is too strong. Is the name of it. Anyway, I would jump scare you, but anyway, no one has posted the jump scare enough, so he's a kid. Okay, it's actually not a bad manhwa. It's just I don't know. It's getting to like the drama filled section where fucking like the big bad is trying to kill everyone, destroy everyone you love, and I'm just like, oh, it's a really cute manhwa, and manhwa is just Korean manga that's easier to read. I don't know if you've ever been into reading that sort of thing. I will send you a link to it. It's the kind of thing that where you keep reading. Oh, you kind of get stuck in the scrolling of reading. So I say it's a more productive doom scrolling for the sole reason that I know, at least you're reading a story with a plot and you're, maybe enjoying the artwork and the plot and that kind of thing.
LMAO.
I don't know if there's like a really bad delay. I can't tell what you're fucking reacting to. I'm feeling dumb. Fucking hand warmer. How to make? Ooh. How to? So many YouTube tabs.
Mod PLS.
But is it doom scrolling if you're just reading a book? It really depends. Manhwa has an addictive quality to it. Everyone I know. Well, okay, and I know me and one other person and Grim. So I know 3 people who are like manhwa readers, and it is quite addictive because like the imagery gets that like dopamine spike because it's like really good artwork and it's action and you're scrolling, so it almost feels like an animation kinda, and the plot is always really engaging and you just want more, but it really just like takes your time up. It like you have a day, you open a manhwa and zoop.
I see. Less like scrolling through Doom and more like stuck to the screen scrolling until you're Doom.
Yeah, that's how that's what I think of doom scrolling. Like, cause ironically enough, most of the time you're scrolling through very positive, motivational, or like interesting content, but it's nothing good for you. I feel like reading words reading a normal book that just has words is probably less addictive. Though, a good book, anyone can sit down and read a good book. I guess sitting down and reading a manhwa just has a bit less, maybe mental benefits. But I will say, I really love the stories I've read. However, I've, like, all the good stories, I fucking read them. Now it's just the weird angsty shit. And, like, copy stuff. So I've not read a manhwa for a few months now, and I should not
Little
return.
says, the pretty pictures and webtoon vertical
Yeah.
more dopamine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's interesting is like Webtoon, the company, like the app. I think like they used to encourage a lot more indie posters, and then they started like, I don't know the whole full story, but it seems like they used to be way more indie posters to where, people would call it a webtoon, call that format, webtoon, but then they have a lot more Korean manhwa like paid to be there, or they have like a lot more like what seems to be, what do you call like a Netflix original, like a webtoon original, where it's more like Korean paid authors and artists doing manhwa on there. But it's it's like one of the few big sites, I guess, where you can have the paid for content and you can have like original, indie content that people can also charge for. I guess a lot of people can make their living there, which is cool. But yeah, I do, I mean, you put it perfectly. It's the imagery and the format. It all just comes in a one, and it's so addictive. And then not to mention the whole porn industry part of it.
Contract in artists to be webtoon exclusive and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's fascinating. I mean, the entire like industry of manhwa writing and publishing. I really like the creator's notes or the author's notes, or like sometimes it's like group notes from the creator and author and artist and the whole team, and they sometimes give a few insights, and a lot of them have agents, a lot of them have like people that oversee things, it's not just them. It's quite fascinating. But let's listen about Code Violet. I didn't even look check it. Oh, you can't hear it though, so I'm failing at every point of this. Picture in picture.
I'm not a critic, I'm just some idiot with a YouTube channel, and I think that this game is absolutely dreadful. It's one of the crappiest survival horror games I've ever played, and a lot of its problems are compounded by the price they're asking. I mean, look man, I've played a lot of these indie survival horror titles on PC, some of which are good, some of which are bad, and some of which are so bad they're good, but none of them asked for 80 of my hard-earned Australian dollars.
Okay, starting over.
Well, the first PS5 exclusive of 2026 is here with Code Violet, developed by Team Kill Media, the guys behind the critically acclaimed Quantum Error. Alright, well you know what, maybe not traditionally critically acclaimed.
Okay, if we were to watch a Let's Play of Code Violet, I wonder which Let's Play would be. I don't know. There's Moist Critical Gaming, Rad Bread.
But either way, in their eyes, that's the only possible reason behind the overall weak and negative response their latest work has gotten from critics. Well, I'm here to say that I'm not a critic, I'm just some idiot with a YouTube channel, and I think that this game is absolutely dreadful. It's one of the crappiest survival horror games I've ever played, and a lot of its problems are compounded by the price they're asking. I mean, look man, I've played a lot of these indie survival horror titles on PC, some of which are good, some of which are bad, and some of which are so bad they're good, but none of them asked for 80 of my hard-earned Australian dollar dues.
Like, hearing about it makes me just want to go listen to another review of this one dinosaur survival horror game.
price, it might have been fine, but it's kind of hard to ignore all the glaring
Livable
faults when the
says,
price tag's that
"Oh
high.
no, we made bad
Everything
Gooner
about
vape
this
instead."
game just seems kind of shady. Ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? I mean, for starters, they didn't release this on PC, only the PS5.
Alright, I got 2 other videos about Dino Survivor horror games queued up next, so...
But as a lot of people have also pointed out, you can't ask for refunds for a game bought on the PlayStation Store. You know, compared to Steam, where getting a refund is a pretty easy process. The good news is that
Fucking buy physical. Fucking return that shit to GameStop.
And to be honest, I wouldn't even need to do all that much than just post a single gameplay clip to prove my point. However, I'm really just getting started. So the game opens up with a quote from
Krita.
Leonardo da
Okay.
Vinci.
Well, I got Krita open.
Every work of art begins with a
And that
blank
means that the
canvas.
only other
As
thing
the
I can
game
do is
opens up
try
with a
to
blank
work.
screen of its own, and if that doesn't instantly tell us what kind of ego the devs have, then I don't know what
This one.
story is. You're playing as
I should
woman named
attempt to be
Violet,
more
who's living on a
clean
planet
in my
that has one egg.
methodology.
Earth is apparently
Maybe.
become uninhabitable.
Perhaps. Mayhaps. As in may
History
not,
tells us
but...
basically nothing as Violet seemingly teleported in.
You compare...
Cesar Frederica says,
Whoa.
"It's been a while. How was your new year?"
Well, it was pretty okay. First off, thank you for stopping by. I remember you as like Dr. Frederick, but now you are Cesar Fredericus. Try to attempt to say in some way. I mean, I survived the new year. The new year is full of, you know, or how to say,
with it obviously supposed to be tense and
life changes and potential trauma. But
and on that note,
group is not editable. Well, who the fuck locked it?
That's Violet's whole appearance. Where it is kind of funny looking back to how the devs said they didn't want to make this available on the PC to prevent people from making vulgar versions of the main character. Where firstly, it's kind of like, you know, check your ego.
Give me the
The
head.
game's not that much of a big deal,
Show me the
guys.
head.
And let's be honest, man. Like Violet's no
I've
Margot
just
Robbie or
been
Smart
trying to
Baby.
get back into
Secondly, you ever
things.
heard of the Streisand effect?
Who else knows?
I feel like the leg is horrific today, but I can't prove it. Let me see.
In her underwear anyway. Not to mention, you'll eventually find and unlock a whole
I mean, like, I see the messages instantly. I guess I have to go onto the page.
The horror tone the game's going for. Remember how in like old survival horror games,
Yeah,
like Silent
I don't know, I feel like
Hill or
it's not too
RE4, you
bad.
could unlock these goofy costumes for the female characters after you'd beaten the game.
How rude!
Yeah, you know, so the whole tone and premise wasn't totally
What is
ruined.
this?
Yeah,
La la
in Code
la.
Violet, you can dress her up in an outfit
La
called
la
the
la.
Doc, or wear arseless chaps for your first playthrough. But yeah, I'm sure glad that someone didn't mod in a vulgar version of the character, man. That would have totally ruined the art. And look, like, don't get me wrong, I've got no issue with this stuff, and in fact, I'm very pro this kind of stuff. I've always said that if I'm playing a game and I gotta stare at the back of someone's ass for 8 hours, well, I'd rather it be a woman's. But it just becomes pretty obvious here early on.
I have the exact opposite though. I think I'd rather, like, look at Isaac's. Isaac from Dead Space. I'd look at his back for 8 hours.
What I think really happened here is that they tried to go for the whole Stellar Blade approach with the marketing, you know, trying to advertise their protagonist as being this similarly attractive female. The only issue is that Stellar Blade had a good game to back it up, and Code Violet obviously doesn't.
Cesar Frederica says, "Yeah,
And yeah,
the
like
new
the first
YT
thing you
tag
kind of
display
notice
system
about
has
the game
been
is just how
something."
subpar the whole thing looks.
Cesar Frederica
I mean, for a
says,
PS5 exclusive,
"I'm glad to
this
hear the
just
new year
looks
was
really
tolerable
piss
for
weak.
you."
Violet's ass cheeks,
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, you know,
cheesy
the
graphics,
years pass, the tech seasons come.
from those couple of
You
raptors,
cannot
which is
escape, so you must go with the tide. I hope yours was acceptable as well. And I hope the new year will be full of, you know, progress for you in all ways. Positive improvements and developments.
And this genuinely looks like the kind of
Like,
slot
I'm
that
debating
those guys
tweaking the
back
head
when they used to
even
fight.
more here, so...
What is happening?
Are you okay?
along with having all the other trademark effects of the Unreal Engine 5.
Like, I just want like a little bit of a dramatic
It's also like an
adjustment,
incredibly
but I don't know
static
what.
world and doesn't really have any kind of interaction. And outside of like shooting vases for spare ammo, everything else may as well be made out of concrete. But I don't know, like maybe this was done to try to recapture the feel of those older PS1 era survival horror titles. Like after all, this is supposed to be a throwback to Dino Crisis, right? So maybe the reason is because they've tried to accurately replicate those older pre-rendered backgrounds by making the environments here completely lifeless. Nah, they just fucked up. But look, we're getting a bit sidetracked. Let's get back to the campaign. Right, so the game
YouTube
opens,
chat
we're
check.
alone in this facility.
I don't know. I wonder if I should kill off
Violet finds
Botrix.
walkie-talkie and gets into contact with someone named Jason, who she
It's an
knows
interesting thing to
very well,
remind me
despite us
to
having
check
no
whether
idea
it's
who he is,
working or
other
not,
than
but
that he looks like the Wish.com version of Carlos from RE3.
Well, calm down and listen to me.
Jason says he's locked in the incubator area, which does give us our first main objective, which is to find and rescue him.
I don't know what that is.
But not before one of the many flashback scenes in the game, showing Violet as what I assume is supposed to
Cesar
be a young
Frederica
girl,
says,
even though it's pretty clear
"For
what
my
they've
part,
done here is
I am
swap out the
catching up on
body but
things.
keep the same face
Caught
model.
something over
Once
the
I finally
holiday,
got into exploring
so now
the
I'm a
area
bit
after
behind
this,
in
so
my
I head off
practice.
into one of the
sorry
nearby
to hear
rooms
that you
and
were
immediately
under
got
the
bitten by a
weather.
raptor and lose half my health.
But I know
So
you'll catch up.
retreated, I checked out another room, and then another raptor finished me off. So I restarted.
Maybe it's too small now.
Ammo,
Whoops.
I managed to actually kill a couple of raptors this time, as well as exploring the area long enough to find some items and mess around with the crafting system. Because a lot like classic survival horror titles, you're constantly finding components here which can be turned into different things, like ammo or healing items. And I even find an upgrade station for my gun around here too, where I can spend a resource called mites to improve weapon stats for damage, reload times and capacity. And then after a bit more exploring, I'm killed again. This also
Yeah, like, I wonder if I should even try to reuse it or just if not. I'm very tempted to
where
though.
the only way to stop it is to use a tourniquet or a medkit. However, as this is only 10 minutes into the game, I don't have either of those things. So every time I take damage, about all I can do here is just run around and wait for myself to slowly bleed out and die. Now, you do get bandages here, an item which is famously used in video games to stop bleeding. But instead, this is one of the components you need to craft a tourniquet when combined with steel. Or, you know,
Yeah, I think
how
I'm gonna
about
end up
combine
reusing
that
some
bandage
parts.
with the bleeding wound that's slowly killing me. It also
Cesar
introduces
Frederica
another
says,
really annoying
"Art
feature where
practice,
a lot of the
I
time when you
mean."
take damage,
Yeah, I did.
Violet's
I
not
did
only
assume
gonna be
that,
knocked
yeah.
on her ass, but also drop her equipped weapon. Which means you not only need to mash the X button to get back up, but then also pick up the gun and then re-equip it before you can start firing. All of which of course has to be done while you've got a velociraptor breathing down your neck. This early area also introduces one of the other few dino types with the compies, those small little assholes that do this really annoying thing where they run up to you, attack, run off for a bit, and then just come back again. Which just becomes incredibly annoying and happens throughout the entire game. And is almost a bit of a jump scare because they're so tiny that they often blend in with the environment. Anyway, after restarting again, I try a different room, which has one of the most bizarre minigames ever to unlock it. And find myself in the kitchen, where I instantly get
I
ambushed
don't
from
know.
behind.
Nope, that's not what I wanted.
And
I'll
that is
just
the
take a
other thing I want to
screenshot
bring
of
up
one
about the game is
thing
just
right
how crappy the
here.
controls are when it comes to aiming and shooting. I mean, it's really quite hard to overstate just how clunky the controls are. I've been playing RE4 on my GameCube for the past week, on and off, just out of boredom. And every time I go back to replay that game, I'm always amazed at just how smooth the shooting still feels all these years later. And yet, coming from that to this, a game that has come out 20 years after it, this thing is somehow worse and harder to hit anything. I think the most annoying thing is how every time you're close to a wall or any solid object, the camera kind of zooms into Violet's torso, and you quite literally cannot see what you're shooting at. Something which happens throughout the entire campaign, really just being this annoying handicap that shouldn't exist in a game like this. You know, where a couple of hits can otherwise kill you. Because there's no manual saves either at this point due to it still being very early on, I'm constantly having to retry all of these sequences over and over as I try to figure things out. For instance, I was able to soon get back into the kitchen and deal with those raptors. raptors by killing them with a grenade that was able to hit them through the wall. But even that was on my second attempt, because on the first attempt I misjudged the massive blast radius that those grenades have. But in my defense, I mean, just look at this, like I'm standing this far away from it and it still somehow hurts me. After this, I explored a bit more in my surroundings, coming across a small gap that I need to squeeze through because, yeah, remember squeezing through small gaps?
Algophidius Gray
And this
says.
leads me to an area where I've got to craft like
Wow.
a laser grid using a black light, like it's Metal Gear Solid.
Eternal
Finally
debate.
finding Violet's armor with the smart suit, which doesn't really change things up all that much, apart from just apparently giving her high damage resistance.
I found the suit.
Great.
The only other interesting thing about the suit is this whole cloak mechanic, which is a bit of a misnomer, considering it doesn't even really cloak you. It just turns you into Emma Frost from the X-Men, or at least with your clothes anyway. Where apparently you're now invisible to the dinosaurs and just can run right up to them and blast them in the face while they stand there completely oblivious. And it is actually hilarious how they don't even really bother to run away, they just stand there so defeated and cop this abuse head on. Something though which is also downright essential later on in the game when you're going up against 3 or 4 of these at once. It's also the only way you can use grenades, considering otherwise, every enemy in the game just runs right up to you for a melee attack. And as we ascertained earlier, the blast radius on those grenades is insane.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
I'm also kind of convinced that the cloak effect only looks like this because the developers are oblivious and just didn't know how to incorporate a more traditional stealth effect. You know what I mean? Like the typical effect you'd see in any other game when you had some kind of a cloaking mechanic. Oh yeah, and speaking of oblivious, can I mention how the door sound effect when you enter the armory is literally the door sound from the original Doom? I mean, listen. And I'm convinced there as well that they didn't even include this ironically. I'm kind of guessing it's just the sound effect they went with when they were looking through whatever sound effect library they pulled all this stuff from. From this point on though, it does at least start to adhere to survival horror norms with a lot of the hallmarks. That being things like a safe room with a manual save point, plus an item box to dump out excess items and free up your inventory. You've got a map screen which makes navigation easier, there's enemies that can poison you and the only way to fix it is with an antidote, plus there's old keys which can open specific locks, and your backpack size can be upgraded too. But then it also has very unsurvival horror stuff as well, like respawning items, like if you quit the game and load back in, for some reason all the items have come back again. And every time you go back to one of those armories where you upgrade your guns, there's these ammo boxes on the walls which are almost always topped up again with randomly generated ammo for one of your weapons. Although it seems to understand the importance of inventory management, the inventory interface is incredibly clunky. And you can't stack up a lot of these items, leaving you with lots of duplicates that take up huge chunks of space. You can't combine items in the item box either, you first have to drag them to your inventory, which is just needlessly time wasting. On a positive note though, you do get the shotgun very early on here, which is another classic survival horror staple, which means I did have a better chance of defending myself and not getting killed during every single enemy encounter. Though the shotgun does have this really weird bug where if you keep pressing the reload button over and over, it does this. Which I'm sure the devs will tell us is a feature and not a glitch.
Sure, Dan.
Either way though, this is good because it's around this time in the game where it also introduces the next enemy, with the Dilophosaurus, which is the one from Jurassic Park that killed Newman. I ended up wandering around pretty aimlessly for a fair bit here, though at least I was rewarded considering the area was full of items and extra mites. Eventually running into another survivor who Violet again apparently has a very good relationship with. But as we the player obviously don't, it makes it impossible to give a shit about their predicament, seeing as we've quite literally just met them.
No, don't waste your time.
And then this next cinematic just goes on and on with another flashback sequence that's supposed to fill in the blanks. Only in reality it's making me feel like I've just started watching a TV series from the second season without having seen the first.
Do you believe them? Trust them? Why wouldn't I?
Oh yeah, and then at this point the title card appears as well, meaning the last couple of hours have only been the prologue. As a nice change of pace at least, we do find ourselves outside for a point, with this grand reveal of the planet supposed to be some kind of epic display of this gorgeous, lush alien world that we find ourselves in. But all I could think about here was how that cinematic in the old Turok reboot from like 2009 was more impressive. Yeah, if I'm comparing things to that game, then you know how dire things really are. This whole area just feels like an asset library dumping ground. It's a mostly opened up space that's got all these different props that just feel entirely out of place, like random nuclear cooling towers off in the distance. But I will say that it is nice to actually be able to evade the enemies for once and not feel like I'm trapped in a tin can. It all comes to an end though as we arrive at the preservation lab where Jason's trapped. Not wasting any time and heading into the Raptor exhibit because, yeah, that sounds promising. And oh, look at that, it's AI art all over the walls. That's nice. Also finding the third weapon, the assault rifle, which is about as damaging as spraying someone in the face with wet farts. And even after upgrading it in the armory, still about as effective as harsh language. There's a cinematic here where Violet does something, followed by the closest thing we've had to a puzzle yet, redirecting the flow of plasma to power up a nearby bit of machinery. And for a bit here too, I also felt like I was starting to get the hang of the combat, only, okay, maybe I wasn't. Because yeah, like even after maxing out the damage for my available weapons, they still seem to do very little actual damage to the enemies. There was a bit after this that I did think was pretty atmospheric, walking around some kind of meat packing room with all these slabs of dead animals hanging from hooks and the ground thick with fog. Only was all immediately ruined when I came across an enemy that killed me in about 2 seconds. There was a pretty decent sequence after this too, where you gotta crawl through this narrow space, avoiding jets of fire by rolling to the left or the right. So every now and then you do see these little nuggets of potential in what's otherwise a septic tank full of floating turds.
Clever girl.
This was also when I found the Badonkadonk outfit for Violet, which makes her look like Daisy Duke. And yes, another element of the game which I'm sure is doing a great job at preserving the art. Finally, after all of this, we get to the incubator area and we free Jason, but it seems like this guy's already bought the farm, forcing Violet to give him the most awkward-looking CPR I've ever seen, which amazingly seems to work, because it brings the guy back from the brink.
A little rough on the chest compressions there.
Before then showing us yet another lengthy cinematic with a bunch of flashbacks, which I will admit does at least try to establish the relationship these two had before the events in the game, as well as establishing that whoever does the facial animations in this game needs to have their job title reassessed.
I thought it may be good if she knew how. No, this is beyond unacceptable.
After this, we're then sealed off from Jason and attacked by what looks like the early design for the Predator. You know that version they showed off in all the BTS stuff for the movie back when it was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme? Yeah, that thing. Also serving as the first proper boss fight for the game, which is actually surprisingly easy. I mean, given how lethal the basic dinosaurs were, you'd think that this thing would tear you limb from limb. Only it's pretty easy to just run around the area and avoid its attacks, shooting back here and there. The devs then seized the opportunity to rip off that one scene from Alien 3, before it then inexplicably runs off and leaves us alone. Also separating Violet and Jason and forcing us to go back outside again to another opened up area. And this could have been like a really cool way to incorporate some kind of night and day cycle on the planet, seeing as that area before was set during the day, this bit could have been set at night or something. Again, like remember how back in RE4 for instance, how every time you went indoors for a bit, you'd come back outside again and the weather would be completely different. You know, simple shit. But instead, it's just the same as it was before, with nothing really changed. Same as it ever was. Same as
I'm
it ever
too
was.
locked
Just
in
throwing the
to
same couple of dinosaurs
have
over and
anything
over, and moving things
useful to
from
say.
static Unreal Engine assets.
I mean, I can discuss what I'm
Not that they might put a
doing.
save point or an item box out here, considering this area
It might
goes
be
on for
inherently
over
just fucking
15
boring, but
minutes.
eh.
Nah, man, you just mindlessly run from point A to B, having to
I decided to take the route of, you know, taking the original default and just like manipulating it,
The goal is to get the place up and running so they can call
which just
where we soon run into
fills
Jason
me
and
with
have to
joy
watch
because
another cinematic
it
where I just find myself
it means I
wondering
do
yet again
probably more
who these
work
people are
overall
and
than
what's
if I
Says a
just
friend
draw,
says,
like,
you
who is
know.
this lady?
Well,
Why is she
if it's
staunching in the
boring,
room?
we can
What's
just
happening?
not listen.
To interrupt.
Very true. You always have a choice to just not listen.
Why is everyone standing around? Why are they not saying anything?
But yeah, so I took taking the route of manipulating the
going
original
on?
image to get
Who
the
else knows?
other
Who else knows
expressions I
what?
need,
Exactly.
Exactly, what?
which has some pros and some cons. Like I could just, you know, draw the
What came
image
from Earth? What is with this shot? Why is
that I
what's with
need,
this
like
close-up?
draw the final image.
Ideas Gray says. YouTube chat
going
check.
on?
No,
What? He's suddenly
YouTube
grown
chat
so
is
big?
working. Twitch chat
Are they
is
gonna make
working.
out now? And it just goes on like this.
All the chats
with
be
this
working
cutscene going
so
on
far.
for over 8 minutes. Or to just finally get back to the present
Botrick
time and tell
says,
us what we need to do in
YouTube
about
chat
5
check.
seconds, which is
Eh,
to go
you're
off
too
and
ahead
find
of it.
some satellites.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh yeah, and I also got stuck at this next puzzle for ages. It's this bit where you got to spin these 3 fuses around and get them in the right order.
It's
but
looking
I
too
had
much like a
no idea
turkey
what I was
gobble.
supposed to do. I tried different combinations, I tried checking nearby journals, and nothing seemed to hint at what had to be done. So I gave up and I looked up a long play on YouTube to check out the solution. And you know what you're supposed to do here? Well, remember that black light that I used hours ago to get to that laser grid? Well, turns out if I have this thing equipped and look at this one spot in the room, it shows me the solution.
Oh, piss off!
And it's just like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that? After that, I encountered another raptor and then this happened.
Still looks weird, but hopefully changing the eyes will
I'm in
help a
some kind
little
of
bit.
large area filled with shipping containers, and oh look, another tight spot to squeeze through. Because isn't that what modern games do? Plus, I come across some poor bloke's corpse, and Violet somehow immediately knows she has
Frederica
to carve
says,
the guy's eyeball
"The
out to
three-fourths
use
view
it
is
a
a cool
retinal
choice,
scanner,
to be
despite me not
serious.
even having found
I
a
don't see
retinal
enough
scanning
YouTubers
yet.
who take
There's
that
a
route."
weird puzzle after this.
I mean,
Says
it's a
Frederica says,
PNG tuber.
Honestly, I
I
can
just
only
kept
think of
flipping
one.
nearby switches over and over until the whole
I
thing
think
worked.
not a
I
lot of
soon found some machine gun laying on
VTubers
the ground
take
after
the
which
3/4 route. Like,
actually
not a lot of live
assault
2D
rifle.
tubers do. Just, but that's simply because it is so much easier to rig from a straight-on symmetrical view. Like, it is so much easier to do the rigging when. Yeah, I'm just gonna repeat the exact same words I just said. From a straight-on symmetrical view, you know, it's half the work because you rig one side, you flip it over, and you have the other side already done. 3/4 view, if you're starting with an image that's 3/4 view, it is way more difficult just to rig it to be able to get to a front view. You know? And then not to mention, if they want to turn more in the 3/4 direction, it's just a certain type of hell. Everyone involved.
This is followed by another hilarious cinematic where Violet's ambushed by like half a dozen raptors, showing off the kind of facial expression that could be best described as mild concern. Before she leaps over the edge and into this raging torrent of water in a sequence which is just flat out ripping off the Tomb Raider reboot. Yeah, can I also highlight how the water is completely static when she jumps in, only for it to suddenly change and she's now in this fast-moving current? Like, what the fuck is going on? Not that it matters, because of course it's not anywhere near as exciting or harrowing, because unlike it was in that game, where you could suffer from these horrendous deaths if you failed, here if you hit any of the objects, it just cuts to black. Oh yeah, and speaking of cutting to black, once you clear this section, it then hard cuts to another flashback where Violet and a random woman we've never seen before are now having a conversation about childbirth. Oh no, okay, I've lost it. I'm cracking. Childbirth?
Why don't we ever see the babies?
And yeah, keep this in the back of your mind because it's about to come back real soon.
Why wouldn't I?
After this, we find ourselves in another generic outdoor area in the middle of the day, which looks sparse and barren before reaching the bioengineering lab. And if survival horror games have
I
taught
love
anything,
me
it's
the
that once you reach
liquefy
the
tool.
futuristic-looking lab area, you're near the end. Sadly, that's not the case. I do find another weapon here though with the shock rifle, not to be confused with the shocker, which is actually a half-decent gun and does a whole lot of damage when it's fully upgraded. also making it the third automatic weapon we've been given in a row. How creative. They also find a new outfit for Violet here as well, the Wild Thing. Okay. Also, I guess we find the bone ship from Alien with this weird looking room with all these eggs. There is at least another pretty cool little sequence here where you got to move this lift around multiple levels and rotate it to access different floors, which feels weirdly complex for this kind of game. Before eventually I enter some kind of room that looks like it's powering the entire planet, and I'm suddenly ambushed by that returning T-Rex, which pops out of the ceiling periodically like a whack-a-mole, while I guess baby T-Rexes attack me on the ground. And then after seeing more AI art in the next room, followed by an ensuing cinematic that outright reveals it, it all becomes clear what's been going on here.
Why don't we ever see this?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Right, so spoiler alert, obviously skip ahead to this bit if you don't want this ruined, but basically as I understand what's going on here is that Violet has some kind of rare genetic code, which means she's one of the few humans that can carry dinosaur DNA, and so they've been impregnating her with dinosaurs to propagate the species.
What the fuck is that plot?
The only thing is, she can only give birth so many times, so they've had to repeatedly clone her to keep this process going.
Woman cannot reproduce infinitely, so this was expected, but unfortunate.
Meaning the Violet we play as is God knows which one in a long line of women that came before her. As in, this woman has been used to breed dinosaurs over and over. And if this whole thing ain't the writer's poorly disguised fetish, then bro, I don't know what is.
Violet's eggs were fully compatible with the DNA and samples being used from the Velociraptors. A perfect match.
Oh my god!
All I can say is, who comes up with this shit?
But we have to prevent humanity from going extinct.
Not like this. Not like this.
And I can see people saying how it's no different to how the creatures work in the Resident Evil games, like how Umbrella would combine human DNA with insects or other gross things to make disgusting bioweapons. But the key difference there is bioweapons. They were trying to make weapons. So the idea of a giant humanoid cockroach or a praying mantis or whatever it was that was perpetually hostile to everything served a purpose. Either way, Violet's whole reaction to finding out all of this could best be described as mild bewilderment.
Am I... me?
You are not you. You're me.
Before her friend from that recent flashback shows up out of nowhere with Jason, saying she somehow hid from the dinosaurs all of this time by hiding in a food pantry.
I've been hiding in a food pantry for almost 2 days now.
Because a room full of food...
Well, I mean, it can't be that harrowing of a thing. I mean, it was a food pantry, so there was food.
Sense of smell and also
You're fine.
food for sustenance.
Stupid bitch.
That'd be like saying that I hid from Winnie the Pooh by hiding in a giant honey pot. Again, who the hell comes up with this shit?
I don't really know.
Anyway, with all three of these guys together, they can get to the Star Bridge to escape, so off we go, clearing out more dinosaurs along the way. With a pretty intense encounter in these two
wrong there.
It feels like a bit of a last barrage before some kind of final encounter. Instead, though, we've only just reached the waste facility, the same place this game was developed. Now we're going through some kind of sewer area, dealing with giant crocos lurking in the water, before Violet goes back to defacing corpses, this time by chopping off the finger of some poor dead asshole, along with another sequence in a morgue taking items off dead bodies. Yeah, sounds familiar. I will admit, though, that there was another area in here that I did think was kind of cool, where you're moving through these flooded rooms, avoiding more crocs and going against this raging torrent of water, which, if nothing else, was at least visually kind of impressive. Once I reach the surface, I even find the Magnum. Again, another classic staple of survival horror. But before I can use it, we're hopping in a Jeep and leaving the area, where as soon as I saw this perspective change, I instantly knew what was going to happen.
Must go faster.
And sure enough, here it comes.
Again, you never give up.
Luckily, it does at least give us infinite ammo during all of this, even if Violet's body takes up like half the goddamn screen. It's not over yet either, because even after the Jeep crashes, we have to fight this thing on foot, with Violet having what's possibly the lamest insult ever.
Come on, ugly!
But again, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme fight from earlier on, it's almost impossible to die here, because about all you need to do is run around and just not stand still, shooting this thing every now and then before repeating the process. Which kind of deflates the whole encounter just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not even remotely concerned about the giant dinosaur that's trying to kill you.
And well, one thing I can do that's interesting, I can...
While it doesn't even have
Like,
any
the
kind of
warped
one-liner when she kills it either,
effect on the iris is not actually a total negative.
also having a hilarious
I don't know if you've ever seen like anime crying eyes, but like the wobbly eyes can actually kind of look pretty cool. Or like add some like interesting emotional effect.
Cesar Frederica says. Interesting.
The game then fades to black where we get another Da Vinci quote, and for a second I foolishly thought the whole thing was over. But no, it's still going. And now we're at the transportation station, which, you know, others would just call a train station.
Cesar Frederica
looking for more
says.
survivors.
I guess it does give the eye more of a watering effect.
Running into that
Yeah,
lady
'cause-
earlier
yeah.
flashback who's amazingly
I just
still
realized
alive,
chat is
and
on
manages
right
to
now.
be the first character I've
Aldo
ever
Fidias
seen
Gray
in a
says.
video game to somehow
brain.
overact with their facial
Aldo
expressions.
Fidias Gray says.
Said didn't need them.
Aldo Fidias Gray says.
All they
YouTube.
needed was
Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, there's a chat on YouTube. Are you thinking you were like hallucinating? Or I was talking to myself?
Yeah, thanks for that, lady.
And can you not hear it?
Stupid bitch.
After this, we're now on a train that looks like it was built during the Industrial Revolution and attacked by, you guessed it, more dinosaurs. And at this point, I've had
Aldo
it with
Fidias
these
Gray says,
motherfucking dinosaurs
I
on
just
this
didn't know you
motherfucking
moved YouTube
train.
chat.
Where at first, my guns didn't even work
Cesar
properly and I
Frederica
had to
says.
Where they
myself
moved?
to kill.
Where? Yeah, where is
When
it?
my
Exists
guns
only
didn't
in your
work, though,
mind,
this area was
apparently.
really challenging.
It's up there.
and
It's to
all
the...
that have just never
It's
been
top
enemies.
top
Also,
right
I thought
corner.
this was supposed to be one train,
I don't even...
but apparently
What if you
it's
moved
three
it?
trains
I don't know
running
anything.
side by side. And also a train that appears to be near endless because
I mean, it's
goddamn,
okay. It's
some
if it,
just goes
it's okay
on
if it's
and on.
only in my mind,
I
as
know
long
this
as you're
purpose
still here.
comes to an end where Violet has another super weird vision where this happens. Okay. And then as she wakes up, she turns into the goddamn Doom Slayer, activating some kind of rage mode as dinosaurs spawn in, but she's able to kill them in seconds with this newfound power.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Cesar Frederica says.
Then finally we're at the
Us
so-called
viewers are
Star
apparently
Bridge,
like
which for some
velociraptors.
reason is set inside
Very
a
little
giant
peripheral
mansion.
vision.
I mean,
And I won't spoil the ending,
can't
but I will
blame
say
too
that it's
much.
pretty
Consider
good
like
stuff. And
the
also the game provides
visual
another
fidelity
word for
here.
Da Vinci quote. All
Pretty
topped
rough,
off with
isn't
a
it?
quick epilogue sequence showing Violet about to lay the smackdown on a group of raptors before it cuts to the credits. You unlock a new game plus mode after this and then an extreme difficulty, but I can't imagine why anyone would bother. I mean, I'd rather shit in my hands and then clap. By this point, you're probably thinking that I didn't need to spend 30 minutes talking about all of this stuff to begin with, but weirdly, the response I've seen online has been mostly positive, and there's a culture around this game that's just truly odd. There was a weird thing pre-launch there as well, where they only seem to provide code to smaller content creators and safer creators, that being the kind of people who don't really make critical
Cesar
videos and make
Frederica
neutral
says,
content like
I
long plays,
appreciate
which
the
we can
endless
see in the
well
case
of these
someone like the
critical /
Rad
commentary
Bragg or
video
Champs
essays.
Network. On
I'm
Twitter
glad
as
I'm
well,
not the
I've
only
also
one who
noticed
listens to
accounts
them as
with
I
very
draw.
little followers that say they're
Yeah, it's
reviewers,
just it's
also coming
such
out and
I don't.
praising the game. But then I've not
It's a
seen a
guilty
single video
pleasure of
even small
mine.
YouTuber or streamer
I
coming
just
out
love
saying
listening to.
I mean,
Well, I
even
love listening to
PS
people
playable
being very
gameplay
negative
with this game.
about different topics.
What the fuck
Cesar
just happened?
Frederica says.
I don't know.
Same. Same.
What just happened?
It's they featured DSP. Ah!
What?
On their official Twitter page as well, the devs seem to pretty much retweet every positive thing they can find about the game from every single account, mostly small ones. And like, look, that's not illegal, and they're totally allowed to do that, but it does seem like
Cesar
a pretty
Frederica
obvious
says,
attempt there to cover up how
I know it's
shoddy the
probably
game
too
actually
negative,
is,
but the
along with
angry,
otherwise burying
British
their head in the
man
sand and
who thinks too
overlooking
hard
any
about
actual
things
criticism
cracks
from
me
the
up so
safety
much.
of their self-made
Aldo
echo
Fidias
chamber.
Gray says,
And I think at the end of all
Twitter
of
is
this,
a
it would
hellhole.
have been fine if it
Yeah,
wasn't
Twitter
so
fucking
expensive.
banned me after I got
Honestly,
hacked,
I've
so
played quite a lot
Twitter
of
is
these
an ultimate
main
hellhole.
survival horror titles, and I can
And
tell you that the main factor
I'm trying to think. I really wanna. I don't know. I have a desire. I have a desire to share my a comfy campfire stream. I don't really know how to do it though.
Aldo Fidias Gray says,
but charging
is
the
Blue
price they
IG.
did for it, along with
Yeah, I mean, I have Blue Sky. The thing is, the interesting thing is there are a lot of artists on there. The uninteresting is that, I mean, I can't get social media traction no matter what I do or where I am. I don't post enough. I don't know the right things to say. Maybe they can sense that all I really want is their money. All the people are like,
something like Stardew Valley was made by one person, and look at how those games turned out. Other examples include Labyrinth of the Demon King or Total Chaos, both also indie games made by mostly solo developers, and both of which run rings
I give
around
off
this
desperate
thing at a
vibes.
fraction of the price. So I just don't think that argument really has validity when the indie genre is bursting at the seams with quality titles made by similarly sized teams. Overall, if you've been hanging out for that Dino Crisis successor, well, this ain't it. And in fact, if you're just after a decent survival horror game, this ain't it either. If you're after a survival horror game where you get to dress someone up in different outfits and kill lots of monsters, well, go play The Killing Antidote
For me,
instead.
there's something
And hey,
off
like, if you
about
want to play a
Bluesky.
Dino Crisis
I'm
style
not
game,
quite sure
like,
what,
why not
but it
just
feels more
play
cliquish.
Dino Crisis?
oh yeah, I mean, all the
YouTube
now,
chat
and
check.
from what I understand,
Cesar
pretty
Frederick
stable and
says,
easy to play. At
but
this
I've
point,
always
if you
disliked
still
Twitter,
do choose to
so
spend
what
your
do I
money on
know?
Code Violet,
no,
well,
I've definitely, here's the thing, even when I had my Twitter, I posted on it like maybe once a month, and it was always, you know, just my art. And I never got much work on there. I never knew how to game the system very well. It's just like I got angry that they took it from me because, you know, I had it since I claimed this name. So it's definitely just pointless frustration. Why do I have a cherry stem in my hoodies? Well, that's mysterious. But anyway. Looks more like a grape stem. But, I know, you're fair to hate all of it. You're fair to dislike it. I mean, social media is an entire thing. Oh.
Oh, you got banned. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, they banned me after my Twitter account was hacked. There was like a suspicious login from Brazil. They prevented the login, but then I changed my password and enabled 2FA, and I guess that was the suspicious part. But after that is when they banned me. And that just, you know, really pissed me off. It's okay, was I ever gonna use Twitter correctly? Probably not. But they didn't give me the chance.
That's infuriating.
Yeah, that's it. But I guess, I don't know, I've never been able to meet people on social media. I've never been able to really take advantage of it correctly. So I guess the best people I've met were just kind of randomly on YouTube or on stream, you know, through the stream. So I will close my eyes and pray that good vibes will find me. You know, that people will find me somehow.
Cesar Frederica says, fair. YT and are the only places I've met people on social media.
Yeah, I can't even find people, like, I mean, I'm not in big Discord, so.
Never on purpose, I just kind of drifted into them.
Yeah, I'm like the worst social person ever social. I can't do much.
Says, oh, that word is censored. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't make as much sense to censor it the way I did. It makes more sense to censor it, like block any message that has that word in it from even being posted than being said particularly.
Says, that's fair. It's like having a part-time job, at times.
Yeah, I can barely sustain my actual job. But yeah, like to make it as an artist online. No, it's because a lot of people scam, or a lot of scammer, like, spam bots on streams. They'll talk about, add me on Discord. So it was an easy way to, just like, block the message from ever even posting.
Cesar Frederica says, oh yes. There are like disc scammers.
Yeah, I think that's the part I hated a lot. about being in a VTuber service server.
Frederica says,
It was like just the amount
infuriatingly
of scammers on Discord.
admin team could do something about it.
Yeah, well, we can always wish. It was like, okay, I was helping out in a server related to VTubers, but 90% was just hunting down scam accounts and just waging war, and it was just very tiring.
Cesar Frederica says, yeah, that gets frustrating.
New York.
I literally, I walked on SMR because they didn't do before. And I'm just feeling
And who are these people?
I'll say a little prayer for you, forever, forever.
yeah.
In my heart, and I will love you and never, and never.
What do they look like?
One is Indianish, and so is the other one.
Joshua Can 445 says,
Whoa!
potato VTuber crazy.
Hello, Joshua Kun.
I mean like India from the country India.
I mean, I'm just a little starchy. I'm just a little root tuber.
Okay.
Like I really have, I don't
I know.
Tell them
That's what I am currently.
know now because
allegedly the people in the car
I
Cesar
don't.
Frederica says, also, with exceptions, most content creators tend to get into a bit of tension, low-grade drama, when you group them all together.
probably left me here. They probably left me. No, they're not.
It's like, okay. This is like a simplistic view of like animal behavior, but
I know.
it's like when you put all of a certain clique in one room, they have to start cat fighting.
I appreciate that chat is French fries. Like we are some sort cousin.
I mean, you're all my friends. We're all family. I'm like a big corporate company that calls their employee family, but you're my fan. I just draw you and be my family. Never leave. But no, it's when you put people of a certain clique into a room, it's like they all have to start cats fighting and scratching at each other to find out who the big dogs and the figure out the hierarchy. They can't just chill out. They gotta figure out who's top dog and beat everyone else down. It's
Joshua Can 445 says, do you call fried your friends?
They come to my house.
do I fry and eat my friends? Well, yes I do, and that's why I don't have any more.
Because now I'm gonna get in trouble.
They were all consumed.
Frederica says, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, you can. I have
It's,
Fine, you can have a seat for me. Thank you.
but I'm
All right.
freaking out now because
you know, it's like the best content creators that I know. I don't see them around a lot of other people. I will,
All right. So this is your Miranda.
but the thing is, I have no idea what I'm talking about because I know no one. I mean,
Joshua Can 445 says,
it's called Friends
all
Fries.
French fries be a dumb TSS.
Any
But,
statement you make must be freely and voluntarily.
Yeah, we don't like the French here. They're friend fries now.
The presence and representation of a lawyer of your choice before you make any statement and during any questioning. Do you understand? If you cannot afford a lawyer, you're entitled to the presence and representation of a
Forever,
appointed lawyer before you
forever,
make any
in my heart, and I will love you.
verbal.
yes, yeah.
I should fix the hair.
At any time during the
What I'm worried about right now at this moment.
If at any time during the interview you do not wish to answer any questions,
Get
you
this
are
hair here.
remain silent. Do you understand that? I can make no threats or promises to induce you to make a statement. This must be at your own free will. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Any statement can be and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand? Okay. So I need you to sign here, just saying that you understand everything, and then we can talk if you so choose.
Can I give you numbers?
Just go ahead and listen to what she's saying, man.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Just sign right here for me.
Yeah, I don't want to speak without a lawyer because I.
Here, sign right here for me. Thank you.
Wow, she's like the smartest woman ever.
All right. Do you want to answer any questions?
Smartest human to ever be featured on a video. Says I would not like to speak without a lawyer.
I mean, that's.
They are all very nice
if you're
when
saying
you
you
get
want a
them
lawyer, you
individually,
have to decide
but they
what
all
it is.
also have big personalities. Joshua Can
So you're not gonna tell me about
445
the people
says,
that you were alleging are
you know in
involved?
our Philippines French fries we deep on ice cream.
That's your decision.
Cesar Frederica says,
I mean, I love French fries dipped in chocolate ice cream. I mean, okay, as like a small content creator, I think they like each one has to feel larger than life, or each one has to put on like a big personality to even make it in this world. I mean, you have to really make
Cesar Frederick
make
says,
something of yourself.
the classic. The man who represents himself as a fool for a client.
I mean, it's absolutely true. Like, unfortunately, because you know, lawfare, as in law warfare, in this country and most in all countries, is very expensive. So you get tempted to represent yourself just on a cost basis. And this is civil or criminal, but
Cesar Frederick says, yeah, it's the classic thing with theater kids and showbiz.
man, okay, I was in a drama class.
Yes.
Crazy. Hello, Presville. No, I just been thinking back to the things I did in that classroom make me want to shudder in horror. We had to perform. It was like perform like a less than 5 minute long, you know, self-written, self-directed, self-acted thing. It was no props, no anything. It was purely imaginary, and it was very fun. But I'm very glad cameras. Like this one was before the age of everyone and their grandmother like just being willing to pull out a camera during class.
You can tell me what you want me to do, and that's going to dictate how I continue here.
I think I would die in shame.
Joshua Kin 445 says, what is that you watching on right bottom?
So it's a body cam video, but it is a little bit boring. I am tempted to skip to another video I have in my queue. But I mean, it looks, I don't know, it's a little bit tempting to...
Some things are just better lost to the mists of time.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, like this body cam video, it's a little interesting so far. I know it's going slowly, but... I love body cam videos where they keep trying to lie and they like hold firm to their lies. That's what makes it interesting. When they're too passive and just like, oh yeah, I got caught. Well, whoopsie.
Cesar Frederica says, I really think our society is defined by theater kids rule states.
So, as of right now, and there's nothing that
I don't know exactly what you mean by that.
So, like I said, it says in this card, right? So it's your decision, but I need you to make your decision. So
Cesar Frederica says,
because I'm not going to be here all
yeah,
day.
when you stick to your story, that's when you get the outrageous stuff. Joshua Kin 445 says, sorry I was busy watching that.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's an interesting little attention-seeking video. I don't know how to say it, like a video that grabs your attention. So maybe if you're bored with what's on screen, you just pay attention to the video in the background. But
Cesar Frederica says, okay, that statement sounds weird.
Oh yeah.
What I meant is, I think with cameras and social media everywhere, everything is a stage.
Okay, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, even I kind of play into it. I don't know, I have a habit of going through my life as if I'm on a reality TV show. Kind of imagining, man, I could entertain so many people. Look at what I'm doing as I chop wood and build a fire and just sit there for hours. So fascinating. Build my life. You won't regret it.
Business account. So I'm like, oh, what type of businesses that you have? She's telling me it's a rehab place. Like, oh, how many locations do you have? She says 4. I'm like, oh, okay. So which one is the one that you're opening it for? She says the Margate one. I mean, the license already looked funny, right? And
Wait, and now I'm listening to the video.
Okay, let me entertain a little bit and ask a little bit more questions to her. So I started asking a little bit more questions, and I'm looking at the information she wrote down on the paper when I asked her to write down to create the profile. It wasn't matching really with what I said on Sunbase.
Joshua Kin 445 says,
I love fraud videos especially, yeah.
I told her I was going to step away just because I needed to make copies.
Cesar Frederica says, to be fair, a nice fire is a very good aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
My call saying that
Yeah, the whole reason that I even made, okay, so I had an old charcoal grill, right? And it's already really rusty, and like the grill part is like horrifically rusty and really gross. But like as in the grill, the how to say the metal part with lines. We'll just say grill, the grill part, you know. That part is already like really gross looking. The legs are wobbly. Oh yes, and it's so safe to put a start a fire in something with a wobbly leg. But you know, I have what I have. So I collected sticks, tried setting fire. I mean, it's much harder than I thought to set and maintain a fire, but it was comfy. I mean, it was like 20 degrees. I mean, I've set 3 fires. I've set 3 fires. I mean, they're gonna think I'm an arsonist. No, no, no. I've had 3 comfy little campfires, but I couldn't really sit back and relax because it's a small grill, and I'm very bad at building a fire.
Do you know the scam call center looks more interesting? Patrick says.
Unsure what you mean.
YouTube chat check.
Like the scam call center videos, and I'm kind of jaded on those. Never know if they're real. All right, and look, she knows that she should wait for a lawyer, but she's talking. So stop talking. Don't talk. Don't speak. Lady,
Joshua
shut the fuck up.
45 says. Never mind, haha.
Sorry.
I want to tell you everything, but I want to do it so I don't have to fall for this. I don't know what to, oh my god, I don't know. I'm clueless.
See, she's already revealing so much, so I don't think to fall for this. So she already probably knows she's doing something wrong, but either she got paid for, or they promised her money if she succeeded, or she's like, a lot of these cases, they're drug addicts or homeless people, or like people really down on their luck, and someone comes up like, hey, you cash this check, we'll give you a cut. Like, let us just borrow your non-criminal identity. I'm not even sure exactly what she came to do. Most of the time, it's trying to cash a check, or...
I will fix her.
I mean, good luck, buddy.
Patrick says. Joshua can 445, you leveled up to level 1.
I don't know if you can see her, but... this lady's scary looking. The comments are all kind of mean.
Cesar Frederica says. It's easy to take advantage of desperate people.
Yeah. I once heard a quote.
445 says. Chad level 1.
The quote basically went, you can't con an honest man. So like, even if you're desperation, if it makes you willing to do things that are maybe less than legal, that's when you lose everything. So you gotta be really careful. Well, because I mean, I have a habit of just repeating words, but yeah, well, like when you are at your lowest point, that is when you have to be even more careful. Because the vultures are out there just waiting.
Joshua can 445 says. Internet are really scary though, too many fraud and scammer.
Oh yeah.
What if I give their names? I should just give their names.
Because I mean, and you know, the reason is quite unfortunate, but if I'm someone from a country where a dollar is worth 5 or 10 times my local currency, if I can scam one old grandma out of $100, I could have enough for maybe like half a month of living expenses. So all I have to do is find one old grandma to send me some money, and all I have to do is pretend to be Brad Pitt. and tell her that I need money to come back home, that I was kidnapped. Grandma, it's Brad Pitt, your long-lost grandson. And then, you know, you get successful with that one, so then you start running a scheme where you're scamming like 5 grandmas at the same time. You got a whole script of messages, you just text them daily. And now with AI, you don't even need to use your script. You can be even more unique than ever.
Frederica says. Yet. Also, you only need to scam one grandma in a faraway land who you never met and never will meet. Joshua 445 says. Potato grandma.
They did it to me twice.
Be a grandma, I'd first need to have a child, and that's looking kind of difficult. So, yeah, and that's so some people have, you know, asked questions to, you know, Indian scammers and all that, and some of them have a very interesting perception where some have said, you know, Americans are all rich and I have nothing. So if they get scammed by me and they lose all their money, they deserve it. They have like a sense of injustice just for being what they are, and the rest of the world being more fortunate. Which is just, you know, horrific. But she's getting.
Frederica says. Add on to that, a lot of the countries
where
scams come from don't prosecute international fraud cases.
You can't prosecute the crime when the crime is potentially keeping your country afloat.
Joshua 445
Every
says,
year there's a game that
when Philippines view America all that person are rich, is this true?
I would say no. I mean,
Cesar Frederica says, you actually have to come there in person to sue someone for it, which they know they would do.
I wouldn't do. Yeah, and like police, like, okay, let's say your grandma gets scammed out of everything and you go to the police. I mean, the chances of them being able to coordinate some kind of international blue.
Yeah. America has a lot of dollar, but those dollars are worth a lot less here.
Yeah, I mean, that's, okay, there's like the phenomenon of people coming to America
really?
And then sending money back to their home countries is...
The average American is a little better off than most places, but not by that much.
Yeah, and it really varies throughout the country as well. I think the most important thing in life is probably to be happy where you are and make the best life you can, and not lust after the potential lives of other countries. Because, for example, just because you get to America doesn't mean you'll get a job that'll be able to sustain life. But a lot of people make it somehow. There are a lot of, well, not to go into that topic, but a lot of people just make it here no matter how, and they survive somehow, and they think, at least I made it. But I find it fascinating. There are a lot of people at work. There are actually a lot of Filipinos at work who make, work their hours, do a lot of overtime, and they send a lot of money back home to the Philippines. And there's this one lady who, she has a whole ass son, who I think is going to college. She supports him from here. And the amount of money they send is enough to support their families. Yeah.
I can't say about the Philippines, but I know for a fact that a lot of people come here to the Brazil and find it's not really worth it.
Wait, come to America from Brazil? I mean, I'm from Brazil. I'm from Brazil, and I live in a state with a lot of Brazilian immigrants, legal and illegal. And it's fascinating, actually. I had a conversation with one lady. Yeah, from Brazil. So I had a conversation with one lady. So she's been here for nearly 10 years. Right now she's working at a pizza place. And she still doesn't know English. She already has a child with the guy that she divorced.
I mean...
You speak
Portuguese? Very nice.
I mean, it's a big question mark. I speak it enough to conversate, but I don't like. I'm scared. I would be scared of going to college or doing anything complicated in Portuguese. I always have help when I'm there. Eu falo português, mas não é nada de nível pá. Yeah, there's a lot of words I don't know. Like I want to say, I want to say something like I know Portuguese, but it's nothing to brag about. Not enough to brag about, and I'm trying to dig through my vocabulary. I'm always the type of person that will switch between Portuguese and English, and it can be annoying to whoever is listening to me.
Cesar Frederica says, I can say I don't speak Portuguese in Portuguese.
Hey, well, that's all you need, right?
Cesar Frederica says, I'm trying to get better.
I don't know, help me too. I know how to say I don't speak, well, I know how to say I don't understand in Japanese. Well, she's to say I know one word, which is wakarimasen. And that's probably saying it wrong. I know how to spell it. Because wakarimasu is understand and wakarimasen is don't understand. I like audiobook lessons on languages. It's actually better than you might understand.
I learned from anime.
Sorry.
45 says, sorry, missen.
I think it's sumimasen for like excuse me or sorry. If I learn Japanese from anime, I want to learn it from Detective Conan. It's like such a slice of life type anime that I feel like I could learn proper Japanese, possibly. They say that it's
45 says,
Chateau
a minute.
Okay.
Cesar Frederica says, anyway, what I was saying is that, keeping in mind that you have to basically give up everything you have back home to end up in the US, and then pay for the higher costs of living here.
Yeah, but that thing I was talking about earlier, though, the remittance, where a lot of people, crawl and climb their way here, and then they live on basically nothing. Ariga, thanks. Arigato gozaimasu. They get here however they do. They live on nothing. They live in houses with like 10 other roommates. They like maybe have like a sleeping bag on the floor, and then they send all their money back to their families in their home countries. It's an interesting life. I mean, I am more fortunate than most. As in, I had family that had marketable skills, so they came over legally with a job, and then they brought us over, It's fascinating. There's like a lot of different ways.
So, once you're past all that, the difference in what you make in the US, vs what you make in Brazil, after paying for all that, it makes a little more money but not nearly as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
Joshua Can 445 says, Potato San IMI Wakana are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm talking about different things in my life. We're talking about different things. We're all cross talking, all right? Cross talking is this interesting phenomenon. I mean, I read about it in a Chinese novel, but it's like you're all speaking about different things and trying to have a conversation. Like the chicken is trying to speak to the duck. We're all talking different languages and try to carry on a conversation. Ooh. No, okay. The only way to really make it good.
Says, Naruhado. Cesar Frederica says, if you're doing the stereotypical manual labor, it's not worth even skilled workmen.
Look, the ultimate money hack.
Says, or tradesmen, I should say, don't get nearly as much more or respect as they used to.
Yeah, I love the meme of the tradesman who's well desired. Like that one South Park episode where it was the guys in front of the Lowe's or the Home Depot. There's like the whole crowd and he's, oh well, I can charge $1 million for whatever the fuck. But what was I gonna say? Okay, the ultimate money hack is to make US dollars and live outside the US. All right, that's the money hack. You know, cost of living low, currency value high. Or, you know, and that's the whole thing about the internet, right? I mean, circling back to where it all started.
That's true for plums. But yeah, chat delay plus our own fixation is a little bit of a mix-up.
I'm sorry for the delay. It is all my fault. As in, I don't know how to fix it.
Cesar Frederica says. That is the ultimate hack. I know a few artists who do that.
Yeah, that's why even in this world, it is so...
I time to eat. Thanks for chatting with you and I substitute Potato San.
Alright, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for coming by. Have a good lunch, dinner, etc.
Later, Joshua.
Hope to see you back someday. But yeah, that's why, okay, there's like so many Indian graphic scams where it's like entire...
Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this interesting topic.
I mean, I have unbelievable amount of thoughts, but okay, like...
YouTube chat check.
Back...
Cesar Frederica says.
Oh, his thoughts.
Interesting to hear what it looks like from the Philippines.
I mean, I feel like anyone from any other country, it can be easy to look at America and just kind of assume everyone is richer, weller off, or better off than you because of whatever is going on where you are. But it's really dangerous. It's like a dangerous mindset to have from like a mental health perspective. Whoa.
I saw you might be interested in stream assets. Would you be interested in seeing my portfolio?
Oh, would you be interested in seeing the wrong end of a shotgun barrel? That's what I would say. Because it's why it is so profitable to spin up millions of scams.
There a right end.
So the end that's not pointing at you? I don't know. But it's like these they can literally have scam centers, literally factories of graphics, fucking shit ass graphics, making VTubers and stream graphics and thumbnails and all that Fiverr shit. And now with AI, they can make it even better with less work and even more shit. And they're making that.
Now you just need
a
quick scam.
You know, I haven't been in the VTuber world for so long that I haven't, you know, like seen the latest level of the scammer quality. I haven't seen the latest stuff, but
yeah, it really is interesting. I know a lot of Americans who see Japan the same way. But seriously, the scams make so much sense when you phrase it that way.
New way to check for AI.
Says, there's a new way to check for AI now.
My way is this. Hey, you want to know if I'm AI or not? Come talk to me on stream while I do not finish this drawing. This drawing takes so fucking long that you know it's not AI. Okay. Ugh. But that's the thing, right? I don't know. I too can have a fantasy of making enough money in USD through the internet.
You crank up the contrast, and then saturation, even a blank white background will have a bunch of random ass colors in there.
Okay. I can understand that.
Cesar Frederica says.
Anyway.
Even I have gotten the portfolio scam, and I'm not even a VTuber.
Sad. They go for anyone. And the thing is, so because they live... for example, like a normal VTuber artist or rigger, they might start at like $100 to $500. These scammers, they will go so low. They'll be like, oh, you can't afford, you know, the usual scam price I give to people to take advantage of them. I'll cut it in half just for you. Because any money is more money than they had. And it takes no effort. It's all shit. So it's hella annoying. I don't regret being free from having to see all that shit. You know, if I never have to deal with any of that again, that'd be fine. I haven't even gotten that much graphics scammers, like, and all that. That are, if losing social media means that I never have to see or deal with those scammers, we're good. Though I did have one annoying scammer take one of the characters I had designed and redraw it and try to pass it off as their own. That just like tore at my heart. No, it just tore at my, like, it was, because you can't stop them. They're not human. I mean, they don't understand. And that's the thing. That's the most annoying thing. You know, here's the one thing I've learned from working with people from all over the world that speak different languages at work. Just because someone speaks a different language doesn't mean they're not human and they don't understand different morals or, you know, technical things. Just because they don't speak English doesn't mean they're not as smart or smarter than you. But these scammers, they don't feel human. All right? They don't see us as human, and that's the most important thing. They don't see their victims as human. Because if they did, they wouldn't mistreat us this way. And I guess you could say the same for a lot of people that are scammers or fraudsters or criminals or murderers. They don't see their victims as, you know, as valuable, as worth staying alive, as worth, you know, respecting.
That's the important part. It's not that we think they aren't human, it's that they don't see foreigners as human.
Yeah. It's a very emotionally exhausting topic. But, you know, there's so many ways this topic could branch out, but let's not branch it out because you'll just think of, I don't know. Anyone who hears this back will think I'm a very evil person, but I am a very evil person. But you don't need to know that yet. So, what Violet?
The map, and then it launched to a Metacritic score of 40. Reviews called it a disastrous display of amateurish design.
I see things, and
buggy, clunky, incoherent. On the PlayStation Store, it's sitting at 2.1
I can't deny my lying eyes.
With a 3.3 generally unfavorable user score on Metacritic. But here's where they start to take the piss. Despite the abysmal reception, Team Kill bragged that Quantum Error had recouped all of its development costs before launch. Digital pre-orders covered everything, so the game could have literally been unplayable, and they'd already made their
lost my
money back,
mouse.
celebrated it publicly. And that
What is this phenomenon where your mouse fucking disappears? Like, it's still there, it's just like the mouse icon disappears.
Just hype the game enough, get those pre-orders, job
Okay,
done. Why would
so
they change a thing?
the ears.
So then, just 11 months after Quantum Error released, they released Sun and Bone, September 2024. 11 months. That's clearly not enough time.
I can't tell if you're saying it's something that was, and or if it's something that might still exist and we shouldn't take it for granted. It's really difficult to remember that, you know, when you're online, everything seems horrific. Everything always seems like it's the worst case scenario. Everything's burning.
I leave that up to ambiguity.
Ooh, scary ambiguity. But, you know, it can really seem like nothing is worth keeping when you just look at it through the internet. You know, oh, everyone's dying, everyone's getting killed. Oh, like, it's always the worst case scenario on the internet.
Put a positive spin on it. It makes us appreciate the international friendships and cooperation we do see.
Yeah, like, here's the positive news, alright? There was some Taiwanese scammers. Well, I think they were like Chinese nationals, but based in Taiwan and Malaysia, and also it's some country that starts with an S, and that I always get surprised when I hear it. But they were based in these, you know, it's like these. I guess they call them South Asian. Oh, East Asian. It was these various East Asian countries, and they were running these basically call centers of unwilling scammers, where it was like a lot of a lot of women and not women pretending to be women online, scamming men, and maybe women, you know, a few women as well. A lot of pig butchering scams, crypto scams, catfish romance scams. And well, okay, the positive spin is that there was an international effort to capture these guys, like some of the people that were like running these. And unfortunately, I mean, when something like that is set up, just because the head is gone doesn't mean that the scam itself will stop. But we're talking about the positive aspect, right? The positive aspect is that, hey, in the middle of everything that's happening, those guys were caught. They were like, even some videos showing off the seized property. It was like a lot of fancy sports cars and, you know, everything you would expect from international scammers. Everything. What else in positive international news? I heard that like they might be setting up penal colonies in the Arctic. I support more penal colonies. You know, Australia might be heading to the dogs, but it was good while it lasted. And it came from a penal colony. What about all the uninhabited part of Australia? I think Australia is like beginning to burn because it's just too concentrated. Like the population is, you know, really concentrated in like a few of the habitable places. So I say we just push them out towards the inhabitable places, and tell them to make it habitable or die. Everyone needs a little bit more survival training. You know, we all need to struggle a bit more. Just how it be. Now I'm just scrolling through YouTube. Oh, recommend.
Cesar Frederica says, I'll admit, I've been so sick. When I woke up I found the international situation had changed entirely.
Yeah, but your single life may not have changed entirely.
Cesar Frederica says, but moon penal sound like something we can support.
I could definitely support it. Alright. I'm done scrolling through YouTube. Okay, but the other thing that I was gonna say is, you know, it's really easy to be online and think that everything is burning, but sometimes you just gotta turn off the internet. You gotta go outside and you gotta see, you know, all these people around you, they are going through their lives just fine. I don't know, you gotta get in touch with the side of the world that's not on the internet, that's just kind of, you know, going through life, raising children, raising pets, raising farm animals, gardening, hiking in the woods.
True. Got to get involved in my own town.
Yeah, because it's easy to look at the internet and think the world is burning, but it starts, I mean, there's like so many ways to put it. but it's easy to want to give up because you think the entire world is burning, but your town is right there waiting for people to, you know, keep it going well.
That being said, only on the internet can you have a tight-knit group of Serbian, Brazilian, and Peruvians forge unbreakable bonds, gaming at 3 a.m.
Unbreakable bonds. They all hate the Latino. No. An unbreakable bond based on hatred towards someone else. No. I wouldn't know. But, I mean, it's only possible on the internet. Or, I don't know,
Cesar Frederick
in the army.
That as well.
Dude. That's the fun part. I'm like, that's like, okay. Like, one of the funnest parts I've heard about military life is that in the military, you get all the different people from your country. So, you know, you might get people from places you've never been, and you all learn to love each other, or hate each other. I don't know. I've not been in the military, so I do not know. I do not know the reality. I only know what I've read. And can you tell I only read fiction and online anecdotes? Therefore, I do not know what reality is.
Botrix says, YouTube chat check.
I don't know.
Time to make a competent game, especially for a small studio, let alone fix the ongoing problems from your last disaster. But here we are. It's a dinosaur-themed first-person shooter, and look, expecting a polished game would have been naive.
From what
of course,
I've heard,
it launched buggy. Of course, it had technical problems. That's just what Team Kill
Peace
does
and
now.
love.
It managed a 3.5 out of 5 on the PlayStation Store, but barely.
If you've never watched the original Trigun, aka Vash the Stampede, originally released as Trigun, you gotta watch it. The original. I don't want no weird cyberpunk remake shit, alright? That shit is shit. That shit is stinky. That shit is stinkier than dog poo after sneaking 2 bowls of ramen, alright? You watch the original, and you see Vosh going peace and love, and you smile. Love and peace. Peace and love. Dude is the best shot this side of Texas. And he never kills anyone, okay? I love him. I love Vash. I want to rewatch Vash the Stampede, actually. I mean, it's called Trigun. I always call it Vash the Stampede because...
And their explanation was piracy. They claimed that torrents killed their sales, that piracy was the main reason for the low player count. The game that no one has heard of, that has 18 Steam reviews, that not a single news site reviewed according to Metacritic, was apparently being mass pirated. The players are to blame for this spectacular failure, not maybe the complete loss of trust caused by their repeated failures. Let's be real, nobody even knew this game existed. But this is the pattern now. It's never the game, it's never the quality, it's never the studio. Everyone's fault.
Oh yeah.
And the latest releases,
and I mean, I know I already mentioned Detective Conan.
January the 10th. IGN gave it a 4 out of 10.
But Detective Conan is such a classic. I mean, the style of animation, the quality. Oh, you definitely have that, you know, like hand-drawn aesthetic. It's so good. I don't even really like the newer stuff, just because it's so, you know, like computer animated style. Like they have this, it has the same like proportions and character designs, but the vibe just ain't there.
Fundamentally broken on multiple levels. The gameplay systems barely
Wallace Lovecraft says, keep up the good work, Ryo.
It was like an hour of good work and then 40 minutes of talking about international politics and mental health and money. And now I'm getting to that point where like I'm a little chilly.
Peak of late 90s, early 2000s anime that the new tech has only reached recently.
It's all regression. It's all a cycle.
Caesar Frederick, you level.
All right, I'm telling you, and you won't believe me until you do one day. Like all technology is a fucking cycle, because it there's a peak, and then it's like everyone forgets how to do anything well, and then it's all trash, and then later on it'll peak again. And they'll think that they're the bee's knees, and they'll forget about the past peaks. Alright, video gaming is still not as good as it was. I mean, it's fucking regressed as hell. I want Nier Automata. Yes.
Video games.
I want Nier Automata. How fucking old is Nier Automata? And I haven't gotten like another game that is as breathtaking. Wow. Well, you sucked. I actually was more like emotionally impacted by Nier Replicant.
LOL.
Just because I love me my twinks. And I love me my long hair twinks. And I love me a tragedy. Well, I hate tragedy with a passion. But I love me a tragedy. I mean, I hate tragic ending. I mean, I hated the fucking ending, but I loved it at the same time. And I don't know. I couldn't keep myself from playing Nier Replicant before Nier Automata. Yeah, I maybe for the sake of keeping myself in suspense, I should have played Automata before Replicant. However, you know, I did what I did. I scammed the time clock so that I could get all the flowers, and I played the game like 5 different goddamn times. Because if you tell me that there is an ultimate secret ending if you play the game 5 times, I'm gonna play the fuck, you know. But it wasn't that you had to play the entire game over. You just, and even like the first section is really enjoyable. So I don't know, you kind of miss it after you're forced to play the second section 5 times. But the whole point is that each time is like infinitely faster. Infinitesimally? I think infinitesimally is actually an opposite word, an opposing word to infinitely. But yeah, each time you play is quite exponentially faster because you keep your level and all your, you know, your strength and all that shit. It's such a fascinating story. I love the lore. I love Dragon Guard and how that fucking Tokyo ending.
I'll play it 5 times to get the good ending. For the twinks, querrieoh, 2026.
No, you play it 5 times to get the bad ending. The endings only get worse. They only get worse. I mean, okay. In the I mean, is the 5th super secret ending really the best ending if it's not canon? Is what I will ask. It's like they made that ending just so that we wouldn't cry ourselves to death. But god fucking shit. God dang shit nuggets. Alright, here's what I will say. Anyway, we haven't gotten a game that good. Infamous Second Son was actually good shit.
Did you know the first 3 Pokemon games, together, take up less memory than my YT profile pic?
Like, I didn't know, but I believe you. And people love that shit, and now the Pokemon games are shit. The shit on repeat. And you know, I haven't played a single one. I played one Pokemon game on my DS. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I just walked in circles. I don't think I ever even fucking reached a gym. Whatever. To me, it was all a horror game. I had watched too many like creepypasta videos on creepypasta Pokemons. I was into creepypastas. And
Shirison says, I love copy-pasted assets on flat surfaces on my 3D Pokemon games.
So tiring.
Cesar Fredericus says, each one was less than 1 megabyte. It used to be that programming was really tight.
Ooh,
no one character
benefit of the RAM shortage. Actually, I found a benefit for like the AI consumption of all our computer resources. Any good dev is gonna tighten their shit up. I want a renaissance. I crave the computer programming renaissance. All right, bring back the optimized games and the optimized software.
Oh, that is a good point.
Imagine it, okay? Imagine if instead of telling everyone to go into debt to afford game cards, graphics cards they that they can't afford, to play games they can't afford, to waste time they can't afford to waste, how about we all just reject that shit and tell them, no, I'm gonna keep my 5-year-old computer and you are going to optimize your game. You are going to spend more than a minute compiling your code. You're going to trim the assets, all right? You are going to retopologize the 3D models and tighten up the vertices. You are going to draw more of your models instead of using all these fancy ray tracing, ray framing, I don't know, lightning ass buggers. Yeah. Remove the pore. I don't care. You want pores? Draw them on. All right. You're gonna think that girl has freckles? No, those are her pores. And I'm gonna be like, okay, sir. I want stylized artwork. I don't want no realism. I want optimized. I want less than 70 gigabytes a game. All right, we'll cap it at like maybe 100.
Seriously, imagine if modern programs were optimized like 90s games. For example, what if you just baked in shadows and reflections for textures for scenes without moving art? Cesar Frederickis says. Imagine pre-rendering cutscenes.
Man, okay, do you remember the days of you play Kingdom Hearts and every time there's a cutscene, you go like, what the fuck am I watching? Who are these people?
Cesar Frederickis says. Pardon me, I mean for scenes without moving light sources.
Man, I don't even care. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about the graphical fidelity of a game. I play them all on low. I played Assassin's Creed 2 with everything turned off because if I turned everything on, I would get the blue screen of death. And at least it ran, alright? I ran around, I enjoyed the story, I collected shit. Life was fine. I played Assassin's Creed 1. Which I mean, I know that might sound confusing because that one is older, but point being, I played and I liked Assassin's Creed 1. It was actually a fascinating little time capsule of like how games were made before all movement and actions were standardized.
Says. Yeah. Stylizing beats graphical fidelity most of the time anyway.
For me, it is like 99% of the time, with the 1% being like a certain style of game where you want realism. For example, Horizon Zero Dawn, where it's kind of immersive for the world to be realistic, and then you have these robotic creatures that are made to like resemble natural animals.
Shirison says, I go out of my way to look for stylized games.
Yes. I want the life. That's one thing AI can literally never fucking do. Realism sucks. Fat buttholes. Alright. I say realism sucks skinny buttholes. Because, okay, which one can AI replicate in its shitty way better? Realism? Or that one furry artist, like that one game that I recommended to you, that was this like that time like visual novel like about time traveling and this kid, and they changed words in a book and all that shit. Like it was like a really cute kimono furry art style, and that's why I really liked it when I looked at it and showed it to you. Yeah, which one? I mean, the kimono art style can be replicated by AI pretty easily, but that one was unique. It was unique style. And I don't know, some AI nerd will say, nowadays with all these technological advances, I can build a model based on just like a few drawings. So I can take your unique art style, like what a beacon pines, yeah. Yeah, that one was cute. Like Hades is such like that art style slapped, alright? Even though like the interesting thing about Hades is that I actually like to look at it with squinted eyes. Zagreus is he's a little less sexy when you like look at his art too closely. So I like to squint my eyes a little bit. But like just the art in that game, man, like every god. So many cute fucking details. Every character model, it's not, even though they're small and you don't get to see a lot of detail when you're playing, I still felt like they were something. I still felt something from them. Reject the style grind, alright? Reject the template art.
Cesar Frederica says, Hades is an excellent example of a game that only works because it is stylized. Shirison says, I love stylized games way more than realistic games. I mean, Rain World is my favorite game ever. The pixel art in that is amazing.
Okay, just to make sure, RimWorld is not the same as Rain World, right?
Imagine a realistically rendered remaster of Hades.
I don't want to imagine. Okay, it's kind of like God of War.
YouTube chat check.
Like the God of War 2018, it was heading more towards realism. I think it pretty much is realism, right? And I still prefer.
Rain World is slug cats.
I just prefer styled.
RNG survival management.
Okay. Alright, because I was hearing DSP rant about because he's playing RimWorld.
Yes, God of War is a great example of a game series that jumped from stylized to realism.
Like it's all about, Greek gods and this like, larger than life guy.
RimWorld is great.
Killing off like the monsters. And it's like when you have these like really, cool monsters designs and man. Okay, do I want to see a realistic cow head on a giant body? No, I want to see a cool minotaur.
I used to play RimWorld a lot, years ago.
And then you took an arrow to the knee. Like I could go on for ages. We need to bring back the Age of Style. For the good of the hardware, for the good of, just everything.
Shirison says, it's just not a game that kept my attention forever.
Makes sense. Oh, have you ever heard of Oxygen Not Included? Like the only reason I mentioned it's another, I think, like management type game. You have to manage like some. I think it's kind of similar to like those mobile game ads where you like dig down and build structures and you just got to keep them alive. I know.
Yeah, I like the style of that one. It reminds me of Don't Starve.
It was interesting. I mean, I just watched like a review on it. A brief review, not even an hour long, not a 2-hour long review. It was, just like a quickie. Yeah. Look, I just mark my words. Okay. Stylization. It may be only the future for me, but it is the future. I feel it in my bones. It just makes so much sense. And it's like, imagine the future where all the hardware is hogged by AI data centers making things that no one wants. And we have to keep the world going.
The age of style must return. The trouble is that it is hard to quantify it at a board meeting.
Yeah, like you're the one that brought it up.
Shirison says,
but
I think my game purchases prove I hate graphics. The last game I bought was Dungeons of Blood and Dream.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try not to rehash what we discussed at length before Caesar, but the whole point is that, a developer can go to the board meeting and be like, we have this many more vertices where we upgraded to the latest Unreal Engine 5 and we have this many metrics. When they do these things, they can show actual metrics, and the board members don't understand story and style and the nitty-gritty flesh and bone on how a wonderful game is crafted. They want things they can tell their shareholders. They want a reason to invest and all that shit.
Shirison says, I sent the Steam page to you. You can see what I mean.
Okay.
Cesar Frederickis says, which is the ultimate problem. It's all bureaucracy.
It's all bureaucracy. Look, AAA, forget the AAA. Okay? If AAA is all about this shit, then forget it. I think like a lot of people even are like saying how indie is like the way to go game-wise. And it's just the way to go. Just
Cesar Frederickis says,
if AAA won't give us what we need.
An animation company isn't owned by animators, and game companies aren't owned by gamers.
Yeah, that's just how it be. Okay, I'm trying to click on your fucking link. Dungeons of Blood and Dream. I like visual novels a lot. I like visual novels with quirks, like Zero Escape and After Days Beyond Rules, or however that is.
Visionary gamer somehow, but a fluke of fate, came into control of a major game company. He could very quickly take over the industry.
Only if the other shareholders didn't assassinate him first. Okay. So I like how, I know, it feels like Doom graphics. Lordy, these graphics.
True.
I mean, they're fascinating, but... Okay, I was watching a video where apparently like the makers of High Guard, which is, you know, some other team, I don't know.
Dungeons of Blood and Dream is basically first-person Binding of Isaac, made by a solo dev. Cesar Frederickis says,
Dude was like, I like this game, but I want it as first person.
And it has actual Doom graphics.
I will consider looking it up. Right now, I'm just talking to stay awake. If I stop talking...
Oh yes, Dollar Store Overwatch as people are calling it.
Alright, like, you've probably already heard this, but people in the video I watched really pointed this out. Okay, High Over Guard Watch? High Guard is just Overwatch? And I bet their shareholders were like, oh my god, we got it. We want the Overwatch audience. We know exactly what to name this. Or like the marketing people, or like the whatever creative team was in charge of the naming. They were like, high five, everyone. We got it. Okay, but what I dislike is that there were like some responses from different devs on the social media, which is cancer. As we discussed earlier, but on the social medias, some other devs, not the devs from whoever is making this, you know, just like devs from Sony or EA or whatever the fuck, were like, if people don't like the game, they can just not play it. Why do they always have to bash it? You know, they're making games for their audience.
Someone 20-year-old in turn told a 105-year-old that this is a good idea.
Yeah. That's all I have to say to that. But no, I just hate this concept of, oh, it's like so disrespectful or annoying when a bunch of people come out against something and hating on it. And I think like one annoying thing specifically I heard someone tweeted was, and this is like this is like a really horrific paraphrasing, but they said something along the lines of, you know, how can you expect things to come out in the game industry when you keep hating all of it? Or it's kind of like, you guys keep hating everything. How are companies supposed to come out with things? And the response was kind of like, you're the ones that don't understand. We keep hating the things you give us, so why don't you give us something that we'll actually like? Well, I know that that's kind of a circular logic, but the logic being here, these game companies keep trying to follow trends, and this is specifically that's me like paraphrasing something that the video maker said particularly. The video maker said something along the lines of, these game developers keep following trends instead of making unique games that we actually want to play. You know, okay, this High Guard game is coming out, and they spent a lot of money to get featured at the Game Rewards.
The developers aren't.
Aren't.
Frederica says. Yeah. I get that there's a certain percentage of critics who are really mean, but in the entertainment industry, you need a thick skin. Shirison says. It's the people funding them. Cesar Frederica says. Hecklers are part of the territory. Shirison says. They pound on the desk asking for Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, and then that just circles back to what we just said. As long as gamers don't run game companies, we're not really gonna get what we want from these high dollar dev companies. Because it's not the devs running it, it's the people who want
pictures of Fortnite.
How about you just ask AI to turn your game into a Fortnite trailer and be like, "Sir, this is the game." Okay? And just like put him in a corner and let him think you're making Fortnite. But yeah, I mean, then that just circles back to what we just said. The devs might have dreams of making a game that people love, but the shareholders want a game that is likely to return their investments. They want the money. However, I mean, if AI... Okay, this is like maybe going off into another topic, but it's fascinating how AI is...
The problem is believe you can make low-risk games. Shirison says. Make a game for everyone, and nobody will play it.
Yeah, both of you are saying things that like go together very well. But it's, you know, games are a form of art, and art is not some kind of formulaic recipe you can follow the steps to and get a monetarily rewarding result. Art is something where you take risks, you put your passion into it, and it's likely that you're gonna have people that love it and people that hate it and people that don't care. Now, like the specific recipe for a game that people care about to the point where it sells a lot, makes you money, is successful, and you're proud of it,
Cesar Frederica says,
it's hard.
The way all entertainment has always worked is that 9/10 of your media, movies, shows, etc., either flop or barely break even.
Yeah, and a lot of it is so timing dependent as well. Like, there are a lot of shows that failed at the time, but then, you know, got a resurgence of a cult following years later. And I don't know if The Office is a good example, or Parks and Rec.
10 show or game that makes 100x its investment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, is that why so many big game studios own or like buy out so many different ones? Like I don't know what the sequence of events is, but imagine this: you're a game company, you're starting out, you made like a one good game, and then suddenly you're bought out by some studio, and they think they can like get a repeat out of you or something like that. But it's just it's just like so many cases when a big guy buys out a smaller guy and things don't just like work out like you might expect. Because all right, like one of the factors here is that throwing more money at artwork does not make it better. It might okay, and this is going to be more of an analogy than a straight comparison.
Says. Exactly. They are under the illusion they can get by from known good products. Which works for a little bit, but now they milk the franchises to death just too quickly. Cesar Frederica says. Look at how burnt out and grumpy Star Wars fans are now.
Oh, I mean, that opens up a whole new can of worms. Okay, like, my father loves to sit and watch movies and watch anything. He's just kind of a consumer. But lately it's kind of like, fuck, everything's shit. And it's all remakes. And he just kind of looks at me and is like, man, Hollywood is kind of cooked. Or like, you know, his favorite thing is to complain to me about, you know, bad things that are coming out. And I just look at him and it's like, we already discussed this. They're ruining everything. You know, he loves James Bond. He was such a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan. He was, and you know, you're a common guy from that age. Doctor Who. I think he probably watched the original Doctor Who. I don't even have the heart to tell him about the normal one or the current one.
Games is a waste of time, but then we'll sit watching Harry Potter for the 27th time.
Man, okay, I have such a kind of salty memory as a child. I had no friends. I had no one to play video games with me. I tried to get my parents into it, but I mean, you can imagine how that would go. Yeah, these are people that sometimes I'm surprised we can use a computer. So, my father once bought Batman Arkham City, I think, on the Wii U. And he said that he would play it with me. Because he loves Batman. That man never even touched the Wii U. I was so, and I still am, I guess, pretty salty. I feel so evil saying this, but I feel like my father needs a creative hobby. I feel like all men and women in that age, but like, with women, it's like, fuck, they all fucking knit and crochet and shit. And the ones that don't, they're probably dying or grumpy or whatever. But with guys, it's like, how do you tell your dad that he needs a hobby? He does it, like I don't know. Some stereotypical dads have like woodwork, or I don't know. Nah, I don't know. Like sports is a hobby. Like following sports is a hobby, sure, but I crave. How do I say?
Cesar Frederica says.
I crave.
Yeah, women tend to pick out crafts pretty quickly, with exceptions. The difficulty is that guys tend to be more picky.
And it's fine to be picky. You don't need to do something that you don't want to do. It's just that I wish I could find something that he would be interested in doing. You know, like, how do I, it's like taking care of a pet. You know you gotta enrich your pet mentally and physically. You gotta walk them, you gotta play with them, you gotta train them. You have to train them for their own health.
Cesar Frederica says. Building models is stereotypical, but fun.
Like, I even bought I bought a really interesting model where it's a clock tower with 3 rotating airplanes. But fucking, we never even took it out of the box. He's not very, I mean, it's both a me and him thing. I'm not very proactive, and he's the type to never instigate anything.
I see.
And also, he's not really fine-tuned with his hands. He's got chunky bare hands. I've actually never seen him do anything requiring fine motor skills, except like in a laboratory. Alright, hello, thank you.
Just followed.
Ooh, a fursuit maker. Thank you very much for the follow. As I don't do much art, we've been discussing things from AI to international political relations. Yeah, he's a scientist. So I guess maybe we could say that in a way all his creative
says, my friend is making me a furry modded dummy 13 with her 3D printer.
I don't know what a dummy 13 is. But I mean, I hope you enjoy whatever fetish that is. I hope it doesn't use up too much of her plastic.
Cesar Frederica says,
But
you could get him to read up on and complain about the current state of science. Shirison says,
I worry about his
he's an
mental
unmotivated
health.
artist mannequin.
Ah, that bullshit. Alright, no more talk about that. I ignored all your messages about that for a reason. I don't want to hear about it.
Cesar Frederica says, I'm sure he has a lot to say about the replication crisis.
Or about how, like, maybe what, like, a lot of surveys and research can't be replicated. Maybe because it's all fucking bullshit. I mean, he might have some interesting things to say about that. Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe if I can delude myself into believing that all his creative and, you know, all his creative efforts go towards mastering his field. It is, in a way, creative, I suppose. I don't know. I'm sure he's a very stable person. I guess I only see the part of him that sits on the couch and watches things. I'm sure, I don't know. I can't pry into his mind. I hope his life is fulfilling. I don't know. I guess that's also another, like, thing, right?
Yeah. It recently came out that one of the foundational Alzheimer's text was retracted because its photos were doctored.
Tear open all the books. Barge into the libraries and do raids on the legitimacy of all these research studies, okay? I don't know. Not take advantage of the AI, but I don't know.
Are there any sports he
Nah,
likes? It's a little ritzy, but tennis is a good game.
He's not a very He once played racquetball with me. Racquetball. I mean, and that is in a way tennis. I think he probably used to like tennis. We used to live somewhere near tennis.
Racquetball is fun.
Yeah, I do like the whole fucking room being bouncy. That, okay, like one of my, maybe, I don't know if favorite memories is a way to is a fair way to categorize it, but we used to live in a university town with a university gym.
Into the people in the floating chairs from Wall-E. Cesar Frederica says, chess could also be fun.
Okay, chess could be
He
one.
likes to show off his brain.
But conversely, I would have to learn chess to play with him. I mean, maybe it would be good for my brain as well. So we'll put... you know, when I was a child, he gifted me a miniature chess set where...
Shirison says, chess is easy to learn.
Yeah, well, I'm dumb. I'm really, really dumb. I can play Othello. I can't even get through the Horizon Forbidden West chess game, okay? And it's like, it's not chess, but it's kind of chess. And oh my god. Okay, I don't know. I lost. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, okay. I guess.
Says, it's like riding a bike. It takes a little time, but once you are past the learning curve you can, at the very least, blunder around. Shirison says, just learn the rules of each piece, and how to castle your king, and you can start.
I used to go to, like, when I would go to Market Best, no, Cracker Barrel. Alright, when I would go to Cracker Barrel, we would sit outside on the rocking chairs and try to play checkers, but the truth is neither of us knew how to play checkers, so it was kind of like pretending like we knew how to play the game, and kind of like, just, like bouncing around the board, stealing each other's pieces. Hilarious. But no, getting locked in a room. Well, okay, and the racquetball courts were really fun.
That is cute.
Because there were these closed rooms, right? And they were really tall, but then on the second level, because it was a multi-storied, giant fucking gym complex. It was like the most cool-ass gym I ever walked in. and it was confusing as hell. Like in my memory, in my child memories, you know the memories of child kind of exaggerate things. Oh yeah.
Racquetball always felt a little space age to me.
Oh yeah, but like that whole concept, you gotta like walk into a room and close the door. But the fun part is that there are windows on the second level. And so if you could watch it from the outside. So like the second level of the gym had like a walking area that spanned, I think, like the entire perimeter. It was a dope ass gym, okay? But the point is there were like the racquetball courts on the first level, they were just white wall. So the part where you were actually supposed to bounce the ball, it was just white wall. But then the second level where you're not supposed to hit the ball.
Okay, I do have a quick aside. In terms of weird, artsy visual novels.
Never heard of it, but I want to now.
It's obscure, but really like how they make the character designs.
Oh yeah, dude. Wait. Oh my god. 1000x resist. That's 2024. I haven't played shit ever. But.
I know we're way past the area where we talked about visual novels, but I think you'd like this one.
I'll definitely check it out. But in return, have you ever played Nausea? As in Gnosia. Imagine. So you know the game Werewolf. It's that combined with time travel and space age, and I really like it. I played it like there's a VOD of me playing it on Twitch. Like I think I saved it. It took me about 100 turns to beat the game.
Could you spell it again? I will look it up.
Alright. Is the question, well, okay, is the problem that I'm too slurry? Or I'm trying to get a beat on what's wrong with my fucking voice all at the time. I feel like I slur a lot, I don't enunciate. But anyway, so G as in gonads, alright? N as in nocturne.
The problem is just that I am a little tired.
Alright. O as in octopus. S as in September. I as in iguana. And then A as in apple. I could also just fucking type it out. But to tell the truth, both my arms are inside my hoodie. And I'm like hugging myself.
Oh, interesting.
I really liked it. But I'll type it out. Wait, where is it?
So, that's from the word gnosis.
Yeah.
Caesar Frederickus says. Enlightenment in ancient Greek.
But I thought I had another term. Wait. Ooh, okay, but it is often used in the context of Gnosticism, where it signifies a deeper spiritual understanding of reality and the divine. In a broader sense, nausea refers to the cognitive ability to recognize and comprehend sensory information, particularly in neuropsychology and cognitive science. Alright, and considering how the game is all about utilizing clues and your senses to, you know, identify the werewolf and survive the turn, I mean, it's all cool shit.
Caesar Frederickus says. Yes. The Gnostics believed that you could transcend the material world by unlocking the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, I mean, that concept reminds me of Zero Escape.
Caesar Frederickus says. I will certain check this out.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of art style, the art style is just I really love it. Okay, an anime is coming out.
Oh, Zero Escape.
I'm not gonna watch the fucking anime. Anime can't do the style justice. Even though I think they're trying, which is nice.
Cesar Frederica says, I have been meaning to watch a playthrough of it for ages.
Okay, well, I really want to play it on stream, so well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to ask you to wait for me. It's just that I do art, and I don't get a lot of people around. When I play games, I get even less people around. So I don't play games often. I've like started to play it.
Says,
yeah.
Well, it's something to look forwards to.
Yeah, like even if you just go through, I have a playlist where I started to play it. I have a hard time committing to like filming a let's play or like streaming it, consistently. Even though, because there's just not a lot of reward. But it's a great series. I mean, if you had a DS, or even if you could emulate a DS, I would play it on your own. It's the kind of game like I would play under the covers and then I would like scream. I mean, the story is fun. The thing is, I really do suck at puzzles.
YouTube chat check.
It is kind of, I mean, I'm the kind of person that ruins every game because I gotta look up the solution because I really, really, really suck at puzzles. But for the sake of a let's play or playing it live, I would just suffer. And I would just suffer until someone helped me. But it's a great game. Yeah. I really like the plot. I love time travel so much. I love games with innovative concepts, like the metaphysical concepts of Zero Escape.
Well, I'll try to pitch my visual novel recommend. All the characters are clones of the apocalypsed soul survivor, but they all have really distinct voices and personalities.
Okay. Yeah, my problem with visual novels though is that if there's no gameplay and the plot isn't like really tight, I get sleepy very easily. Which is just, it's a personal problem, but what was I gonna say? I just really like the metaphysical, pseudo-scientific concepts within Zero Escape. Like, for example, I'll introduce you to one called Ice 9. It's this concept where there's a sample of water that changes the freezing point of any water that it comes into contact with. Where like the freezing point I think is like -9 Celsius instead of whatever the normal freezing point of water is. And the problem is like, so whatever water it comes into contact with, Ice 9 will turn into Ice 9. So there's like a non-zero risk that all of humanity could perish if it somehow came into contact with bodies of water that make up our drinking water. Or even like what could happen if it came into contact with like an ocean that was used for transport. Like, well, look, what would happen if the entire ocean was somehow just changed in that?
IT has a bit of complaint. You do get to run around a map, and you play the clone who is in charge of the collective gene memory machine. It's basically the Animus from Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, but you get to actually change the DNA part. Okay. I should attempt to do something productive.
So, you get to explore this strange society, while also being tasked with figuring out, how did we get here?
I mean, those types of questions are usually what keeps the game interesting. Zero Escape also has a lot of those questions. Because it's that kind of game where, you know, it feeds you things gradually. But, you know, it is a mystery, so of course they're trying to build up a reveal, and there's so many cool characters. Snake is my favorite character.
Says, yeah, it feeds you the lore gradually.
You know, it's really hard for a game to make you care about the lore. I think that might be one of the hardest things. For example, a game can have 1,000,001 fucking data entries that you pick up on the map. But are you actually gonna listen to one? That's, you know, I think it's another thing I like about Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, because it is, you know, okay, this is like that 1% example on when realism can be a benefit. Because it's very immersive, it's, the whole concept is, alright, you're in this world now, you're in the future, humanity was fucking wiped out because of, you know, fucking mistakes and evil people. But
Frederica says,
ooh.
what I really like is how unique the characters are. Despite technically being the same person with the same VA, she does a great job giving every character their own voice. Shirison says, Forbidden West.
It's the waste that was been in the cupboard for a year. Do you dare to eat it? But that's a great portfolio piece, though. A potential customer comes like, you know, I'm interested in hiring you. Can I get your portfolio? And she says, here's all these lines from the same game. I'm playing 20 different characters. But what was I going to say? Okay, so the concept of the Forbidden West, you know, and Zero Dawn games are, you're in the future. Humanity crumbled, and there's not much of the humanity left. Like, there's not much people left. They're rebuilding themselves from scratch, as in, like, we're back in tribal times, but there is also some technology, and you go around and you can get glimpses of the past that humanity was, and their data points. I like the audio logs best, of course. There's also journal entries and all those shenanigans. But, you know, the audio entries are usually pretty tragic. You know, they are usually someone's last moments. And it's just, I mean, it helps solidify, like,
exactly. You'd never get fixer mixed up with knower or healer, everyone's favorite psychopath.
Oh no, a game where the healer is a psychopath. It just, whenever I hear something like that, it makes me want to kind of like world build some kind of concept where you get your class based on what you do, and then you have this one character where, like, maybe usually healers helped, like, people naturally, like, you know, wrapping bandages or making.
Shirison says, psychopath.
Oh no.
Reminds me of an anime I follow.
Yeah, we're probably thinking the same one, which is, and it's horrific. I never even fucking watched that thing past for like maybe the first few minutes. It just wasn't my style.
Cesar Frederica says,
but
yeah, realism Horizon Zero Dawn works because the game has taught a real tone, contrasting the natural environment with the realistic / normal environment.
Yeah, and also the unnatural nature-based mechanical life forms.
To use healing magic, punches to keep them alive but traumatize them with a constant beating.
Is that the one where he was like, there were like two people that were isekai'd and he was like holding on to one of them, and then he shows up in the kingdom and he has healing magic, and then some buff.
Yeah, he was near them.
It was like some buff lady kidnaps him to trade him.
Says, Collateral
I
damage.
think I actually want to watch that. I watched like one episode with family in Brazil, but I just didn't watch more. That would maybe actually be worth. I love those like jokey, or I love those. Yeah, okay.
It's good.
Have you watched MASH?
You will like it.
You say that so confidently, but have you watched MASH? It's like the magic, the game of strength.
You should write that down, querrieoh. I'm kind of curious about what your thoughts about those character class assignments.
I have so much world building. I have an entire fucking story that is built.
Spell it for me.
No.
Shirison says.
Mashal. I think it's MASHLE.
Cesar Frederica says. The show actually ran longer than the real Korean War.
Okay, not the military show.
Says. Okay.
It's an anime where this one guy has no magic in a world where, you know, magic is everything.
Cesar Frederica says.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you were excited to talk about the military show. I never watched it. All right, Mashal is a fascinating story where that
anime. Shirison says. Oh, I heard about that one. I didn't know the name of it.
The thing is,
Shirison says. Gonna add it to my watch list.
It's fun to watch with other people. Because look, the concept might get a little old, but I love it. I really like. I just really because oh my god. Okay. It has a lot of cliches. It's that kind of show where they play into the cliche. Like, you have the guy who loves his sister, maybe a little too much, where it's like everything he does is to protect his sister, for his sister. But Mashal's like, you know, that's kind of fucking weird. And he, of course, Mash like wins over every potential enemy, because it's not like he's charismatic. He's just like a cool, good guy. And I love his. I hate the girls. I hate most of the girl characters.
Regular man vs anime.
Yeah, I mean so the whole concept of the main character is that he's really strong.
There are similar moments in the healing anime.
Yeah, that's why I think I might like it, because I love animes that like take these kind of cringy concepts and puts a new spin on it.
Healing in general is viewed as the weakest magic.
Well, you think it's weak when you're fucking dying and I'm right in front of you. But I don't know. But just so that I don't know if Frederick can get it, because I know you might already know the concept. The concept of Mashal is that this dude has no magic, but he's really, very, very, very strong physically.
But it's rare, and the main character and his teacher use it offensively.
That feels like so twisted. Okay, so you have this rare magic. Everyone else thinks it's weak, so you're gonna use it offensive. I don't.
Shirison says. It basically lets them work out and
okay
because they can self-heal.
Okay, sure.
Shirison says. So they become physical powerhouses.
Sure. I would like to see one.
I do appreciate the trope of a character winning out with the power of being a functional adult.
He can even cook. He can even bake. That's one of his little hobbies in the show. It's very cute. But no, his power is muscle magic. So because he has to claim to be using magic to, you know, further the plot, because he joins a magic academy, and like the reasoning is somewhat meh, but he joins a magic academy and he has to defeat people to get these coin pendant totem MacGuffins, but he has to keep pretending he uses magic so that he doesn't get kicked out. And eventually people fucking start believing that he's using magic.
Frederica says, I do know this game. My friend is a big fan of it.
Which game? Which game? Oh no. I don't know what I just said. Or you know this anime? No, but what I was gonna say before is, I don't know, for some reason it kind of disappoints me, like world building wise, the direction that went in. I mean, like taking the healing magic and becoming physically strong through it. I guess it if the rest of the people are like strong in terms of abilities and not as strong physically, then it might balance out. But if everyone else is strong physically, but they're just stronger.
There was a manga I was reading, Akiakuraja Tensei Ajizen, which was a classic villainous reincarnation story, but with a middle-aged bureaucrat.
Okay. I've read so many isekai.
He just cuts through all the high school drama, with the power of dad wisdom.
Yeah, like that sounds like something I could read. It's like, cause you know, there's a lot of anime, manga, manhwa, and books where a lot of the drama feels so childish. Like maybe when you are younger, it might be okay, it might be cool, or it might, you know, it might feel relatable. But when you're older, you're kind of just like, the world is ending. Do we really care about like this weird love triangle bullshit? No. Could we just kind of like get on with it? So I do like that concept of
YouTube chat check.
And there are some isekai manhwa that are
Aren't you upset that Steven didn't ask you to the dance? Not really. It's not a big deal, all things considered.
You know, I didn't get asked to a single dance. Should I reincarnate? Should I have my villain arc now? And that, lordy. I don't know, something similar but not exactly similar is like there's this one where it's like my dad is overpowered, where this guy is from some like supernatural dimension and he transmigrates into the body of just like some deadbeat dad.
Shirasen says,
What?
I was the wallflower at the school dance and now I was reincarnated as a flower anime when.
I mean, if you close your eyes and squint, you can pretend it's reincarnated as a slime. Right. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of the ones
It's called Undertale.
Oh no. So much plot hidden in the title. But what I was gonna say is that the unfortunate thing is that a lot of the ones I read
says, I have not watched Reincarnated as a Slime. Is it any good?
I'll say that like the first few episodes get you in.
Undertale. The best isekai.
I mean, is it even technically an isekai? I mean, she's from that world. Frisk is. Just like she falls into the cave. Yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Like, I really liked how it got to the point where he renamed the goblins and like welcomed the wolves into the village. That's where I got.
Shirasen says, they don't always stay good.
Yeah. Like Shield Hero Season 2. I actually just couldn't fucking watch it. I just felt kind of, I felt betrayed in a way. I felt like the end of Season 1 had set some concrete plot goals, and start of Season 2 just kind of went, nah. Fuck all that. Like, I had some, I know you're never supposed to expect anything in life, but based on the you know, the actual episodes of Season 1, I had some actual concrete expectations about what Season 2 would be. I wanted a continuation of the story. I didn't want no fucking turtle side quest. I don't know what the fuck that shit was, but I wanted them traveling to the Yeah.
If you want a great ice guy, wholesome with cooking focus, watch Campfire Cooking with My Absurd Skill.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen some clips of it where it's like really detailed cooking. I just hate the style. I'm also picky on style. I just got the weird style. There's some shit with like nice plot and it can be nice, but if the style is not my thing. There are a lot of cooking manhwa. Man, my favorite cooking manhwa these days is one that's
Shirison says, give it a try.
I actually prefer Cooking Dungeon or Dungeon
Shirison
Cooking.
says, it has big goofy dog.
But he's ugly. I really hate like weird, generic, low quality anime style. It's whack. Goblin Slayer has to at least be Goblin Slayer. For a generic anime style, it's gotta be at least be Goblin Slayer.
Shirison says, it's not low quality.
If I say it's low quality, it's low quality. Boy. If my eyes think it's low quality, it's low quality.
Shirison says, I don't know where you got that.
I got it where I got it.
Cesar Fredericus says, I will say, the English dub on that Cooking in Dungeon is actually pretty good.
I'd rather... Yeah, Cooking in Dungeon, I do like. It's the one where there's... No, there's not a dragon. There's a tall guy, there's a big guy. I don't know, they pull mandrakes. Is like the last episode I remember. There's a goblin. No, there's a dwarf.
Cesar Fredericus says, yes, that one.
Yeah, the point is that they went back into the dungeon because the sister was eaten by a dragon. Anyway, I like that one. I like that one a lot. But anyhow. Oh, we somehow made our way back to anime. No, the one thing I was gonna say is that the unfortunate thing about a lot of manhwa...
Cesar Fredericus says, that and Frieren are the best English dubs I've heard in quite a while.
The last anime I watched.
If you want the worst ice guy ever, watch the daily live of a middle-aged online shopper. Shirison says,
To find the worst ever... There's like so much mid-tier shit. It must be something special for it to be declared the worst ever. It sounds Chinese.
Cesar Fredericus says, I think it's because they gave the girls non-childish voices.
Yeah,
says,
that's one way to go back.
So bad.
Like, one way to be better than the rest is to not have the stereotypical anime female voice. You know, the type that makes you want to plug your ears. It's unfortunate because, you know, women have a lot of different sounds. Women can sound a lot of different ways. They don't always gotta be that stereotype anime.
Says,
Yeah.
Okay, here is one reason. The furries have fur, but human faces.
I mean, but it might be kimono.
And do the cringy Naya stuff.
Okay, but you need to watch, or you need to read
says,
Farming Alone in the Dungeon.
Japanese. They also strayed away from the stuck in soprano tone.
That was called a falsetto.
No, they look like fucking labubus.
Oh no. Okay, but I was gonna say something and I forgot. Fuck. Okay, there's this one manhwa. It's like adorable. It's called Solo Farming in the Tower. Okay, there is a tower with 100 levels. Yeah, falsetto.
Yes, falsetto, that's the word I was looking for.
Alright. There is a tower with 100 levels.
Seen it?
Solo Farming in the Tower, you've seen it? I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, why? Okay. I don't know what you said that reminded me of it, but it's because all the furry stuff, like all the animals are drawn really well. Like, you know that a furry, like, you know the artist was a fucking furry. That's how I know it's quality. The animals are all like have very cool styles, and oh, my butt is sore from sitting. Lordy. I don't usually sit for 2.75 hours without getting up. Oh, I must have lost butt fat. Okay, I'll see if one day we group watching bad anime. It's always better than group watching good anime. Because suffering together is true love. Is what family does. No, well, I don't know. I swear I just... Did I even try to be productive anymore? Just... Okay, at least I saved it. 30 midnight. I should end. This is because I gotta get up and do things tomorrow. And I don't think I'm gonna be much more productive anyhow. I used to get one hour of production. To say the least.
Shirison says. Sent.
I don't have Discord open yet. Enjoy the attached image. Oh. I mean, it could be worse. That's all I could say. It's it could have been worse. And that's the only words I can say. Alright. But if there are no further fascinating topics to discuss, I believe I shall now retire. I bid you all a good rest and a farewell. No,
it really can't. The main character is just a normal-ass guy and he ends up sleeping with every woman in the show. Shirison says.
Nah, to be fair, that seems like a lot of anime. Though, like, I mean, I guess in most anime they don't specifically actually do it. If they were to imply or show that he actually does it, I would be impressed, actually. Open widget.
Says. Imply heavily yes.
Okay. Alright. Once again, I will say, I will now sleep. Tomorrow, I go get my wood stove. It's a miniature.
It's not explicit, thankfully.
Thankfully, he says. I don't know. I hope it's not too heavy. It's 20. It's like a 20-inch cube for a wood stove, and I mean it's not at all realistically sized for.
Shirison says.
Yeah.
CUBE.
I just hope I can have some fun with it. The first step though is I still need to learn how to set and maintain a fire, because I can only maintain TP fires. I really don't know how I'm going to set and maintain a fire in a cube. But it should have better airflow than my charcoal grill, at least. I am actually considering trying to.
Have kindling set aside.
Yeah, I have a whole bucket of sticks because all I do is collect sticks.
And half logs.
I'm scared of chopping. I'm scared of splitting logs. And by logs, I mean I have like 6-inch diameter pieces that I sawed off a trunk with the folding saw. And it takes me 5 minutes each, but I want to split them. I don't have.
Get a hatchet and a hammer if you are scared of using a larger axe.
I already paid freaking $35 for this one. It's a small splitting axe. It's an Estwing Fireside Friend, 4 pounds. I don't know. I probably did not understand what I was signing up for, but I don't have like a platform to use it on. I'm probably going to just take the thickest one, put it on the bottom, and just take a thinner one and put it on top. I'd like to split everything just so that it, you know, catches and maintains fire easily. And then the thing is, what would be the first thing I cook on it? Because it is a stove, like with an actual stove top thing. That would be fun.
Shirison says.
Burger.
Burger.
I mean, I do have ground beef in the freezer. That would be a fair cook. I'm also like just tempted to open a can of soup and just put it on top. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Shirison says. Stove needs the Borger test.
Like, what? If it can't make a burger, then I gotta return it. I got it for free, so I can't take it. Okay, not. It's like half free, but not really free.
Shirison says.
It's just.
Yep.
Okay, fine. I will.
Shirison says. Get a refund.
If I get a refund, I have to give back the gift card they gave me. Man, I love this discount store. It's this discount store that I'm pretty sure is only in the East Coast. Where a lot of things, if you buy them, they'll give you a gift card only valid at the store for the same value. And when
says, YouTube chat check.
When I found this wood stove on their website, it was as if it was sent from the heavens, because I had been, you know, like thinking about stoves, thinking about fires, and I was like even about to get like a cheap one from China. And I saw this and I was like, the Lord has provided. Hopefully I don't get disappointed. I'm trying to keep my expectations very realistic. It's supposedly a tent stove, so it has like tubing that goes up. And I think also because it's so small, the tubing is so that you don't get smoke in your face. I probably need some way to elevate it so that I can cook without bending over. I don't know. I just hope that I can enjoy it. And, well, I mean, it would be ridiculous to say this, but I guess maybe in the case of a situation where there's no heating, we could set it up indoors and run the tubing out the window? Question mark? Like, we would. It's a big question mark, but I'm not sure any firefighter would approve of that message. But you know, we have a fireplace, but I've never even used it. Like, you know, it's kind of the thing where like you half think it might be a fake fireplace, and you half don't even want to try. So I'm never gonna use it, unfortunately. I once had a house with a fake fireplace, and that was even more disappointing. I mean, I'm sure it was innovative, because, you know, you didn't have to put wood. It was like fake wood, and it was gas. Anyway, alright. I'm now officially retiring. I don't think I'm even gonna use it for like a few. Oh, I might. The first day I get it, I might try just to. They say that you should like burn it at like as hot of a heat as you can for like an hour alone to get the chemical coating off from the factory. So we'll see what happens. Good night. Wish me luck.
Shirison says. Sounds good.
Gee. After I get it, maybe I'll spend some time tomorrow attempting to split wood. Attempting. I mean, I guess I could, like, hammer-wise, if I lay the axe down and take a hammer and take a stick. I mean, there are some methods. There are always methods. I don't want to lose a toe or a finger. I am so cut up. Okay? You gotta understand what I say. When I went to work, I had to go into the first aid cabinet and get 3 different band-aids for 3 different fingers because they're all so. Oh my god. My skin is not at all durable. That's the sad part. Okay, anyway, good night. See y'all tomorrow.
Shirison says, just make sure when you swing the
Yeah.
axe, you aren't swinging at an angle where you can hit yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation where if this hits any part of you, it will probably break something. So, I don't know if I have to kneel on the ground. I don't want it to slip and neuter me.
Shirison says, it will be fine once you do it a few times.
Yeah, that's always the first time that's hardest. We'll see. Okay. But once again, goodest of nights. Sleep well, rest well. May the angels look after you. And everything else. Bye bye.